I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While other sweater style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be, what's good? It's your man, Uncle Freezy, the number one chief rocker in Knicks universe. Welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. How about we do it this way? Blue tears, orange tears, Blorange tears. Bim! Bim, let's go. Let's go. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Scream. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, y'all. Let me get right into the tip off. Where's the tip off? The tip off. So there's a lot of different topics we're going to discuss this off season. Right? A lot of different topics we're going to discuss this off season. Right? Oh, so Miss Geraldine, you asked to see the puppy, right? And I can't remember if I bought the puppy on or not. If I can't remember if I bought the baby on or not, right? But we named him Benny, right? So his name is Benny. And I'm gonna disappear for a split second and grab him and show him. Hold on for a split second. Hey, Benny, look at the camera. Look at the camera, Benny. Look at the camera. Look. He love Papa. Hold on. Let me do this. Benny, look. Oh, Benny, don't cry. Benny love Papa. Look. Okay, everybody, y'all ready for the? Yeah, he just turned 6 weeks. Okay, Benny, look. I don't know what's going on right now. All I know, well, the thing y'all should know is is that Benny is definitely loved, right? So for one, Benny is definitely loved. And you know what I'm saying, we don't get, me and Mo just don't do like the whole get something just for the sake of getting something thing. Like we don't just, go buy a bigger house just for the sake of having a bigger house, or we don't go buy a newer car for the sake of having a newer car. Like we don't do, and we don't do like this. So let me turn this way so y'all can see. So y'all can see Benny. Benny, look, Benny, look, Benny. Everybody, so this is Benny. This is Benny. Okay. This is Benny. Benny, they want to see your eyes, Benny. I'm gonna show y'all the reason. I'm gonna show y'all Benny. And when y'all see the reason why we got Benny, y'all gonna be like, oh, that's the reason why you got him. Because he's got. Okay, wait. Hold on. Put you. How can you turn that down? Look at that. Cocoa Brown with gray eyes. Y'all see that? Cocoa Brown with gray eyes. All right, Benny. Go on about your business. I gotta take him back in there with his playmates and stuff. Hold on, y'all. So if y'all can imagine, our schedule has been thrown off. Like my schedule's been thrown. It's like having a newborn here at the crib, right? It's like having a newborn at the crib, right? Corey Lee, what's good? Rayology is in the building. I see y'all. Ricardo Torres, what's good? I see y'all. Hey, Christian F. Hey man, thanks for coming back, man. Welcome back. Stephen Okongwu, what's good? Yeah, Miss Geraldine, he is shy a little teeny bit. He is shy until it's playtime. Right? When it's playtime, it's over. Mr. Vince, what's good? What's good? Wacko was in the building. Keyshawn, what's good? I see you. Yeah, hey, of course. My aunt, listen. Of course, we're gonna get Benny some stuff, some Knicks stuff. We just gotta wait for him to grow a little bit. Not because we cheapskates and don't want to get him stuff because he's small, but he a puppy, bro. And at this age, puppies are unpredictable. Like, y'all know the deal. Hell, hey, listen, man. I'm already looking at stuff to get him online, some Knicks stuff. I just gotta wait for him to be bigger. I gotta wait for him to be a big boy. Yep. You know what I mean? Hey, you read my mind. Of course. That's the whole thing is excuse me. The whole thing is we are gonna get him some stuff, right? We're gonna get him some stuff. The only thing though is so he is he'll be 7 weeks next Monday. So he just turned 6 weeks. Right? So he's at that stage where still trying to figure everything out and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He like, using the bathroom on the towel and eating the puppy pads. Y'all feel me? You know the training pads? Like he'll grab the training pads and fight them. What are you doing what are you doing here? Like fighting the puppy pad, right? The training pad. And then we'll use the bathroom on the towel. You like, what? So he's still trying to figure it out, and we are trying to help him figure it out too. Yep. So we got some things. So not only do the Freezies have a young piece, or not only do the Knicks have young pieces, but so does the Freezies. Bam! That's how things work. It's life. Subliminal 209 is in the building. What's good? What's good, sub? Make sure y'all tune into Knicks After Party this Thursday at 11. Oh, wait a minute. That's today. See what I mean? Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. Julian Blum, what's good? What's good? Yeah, man. So I didn't have, okay, so here's my dilemma. I have a ton of things that I want to talk about in Knicks universe. And then I have a ton of things that I know that I should wait to speak about. Right? There are legit, hear me out on this. There are a lot of things that I want to speak to and about in Knicks universe. And then there are some things that I know the most prudent way to have a conversation is to wait. Right? Just wait until the dust settles. Right? Just wait till the dust settles on some things so that we'll have a more productive conversation. Right? So, Manchild said, name the puppy Theo Pinson. Yeah. So, okay. So his name was almost Immanuel, right? His name was his official name to go on official records. You know what I'm saying? Like when he has puppies and his grandson and his sons have puppies, you know, so you have the official record. You know how you have the paperwork for your animal and all that stuff. So his official name was almost Immanuel, and I was gonna call him Manny, right? And then I thought about how Manny, the doggy, sounds. I was like, no, I can't do that. So for personal reasons, we like the name Immanuel for personal reasons. You know, we had somebody in our family pass away a few years ago named Immanuel, and he was kind of close to us. But instead of going that road, you know what I'm saying, we just went with Benny. Yeah, Manny Ramos, bam, bam, Manny Ramos, bam. Bam. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of things going on in Knicks universe that we can discuss, right? And a lot of things that I feel like it's more prudent, productive for us to wait. Not that the subjects are not interesting, because they are indeed interesting, right? But I want to be a little more selective so that we won't burn each other out on topics when we know we don't have all the answers to, because all that does is creates nonsensical arguing and all that stuff for nothing. Right? B, we don't have a ton of information, so we're projecting, right? Don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? C, there are other topics out there to be uncovered through our conversations. So instead of us forcing the conversation, just let it come to us organically, right? You feel me? Like we'll let the conversation come to us organically. Like I'm just not going to force a topic on somebody. We'll just have conversations. It's what we do at the Knicks Morning Drive. Like what I'd like to do here at the Knicks Morning Drive. Sometimes we get sideways with stuff, and you know, being a fan channel, you know, sometimes people come on, you know, like you know. Being a fan channel, I just about let anybody come on, except for those that abuse it. They ain't coming back on no more, right? But you know, but for the most part, we allow the fan, like we want the fans to come on. You know what I'm saying? Like because the fans need to have a voice, right? So we do this thing where it's like the vetting process is minimal, and so people come on, and then we find people like that are legit good at this, like Anthony D. Shoot, like Anthony A. Right? So you have like through this process, we have like your Anthony D's, your G Man for Life's, your Anthony A's, people that don't have like a profession, didn't go to school for this. They just want to come on and rock, come to find out they dope. And then, you know what I'm saying? We just rock like that. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that I want to talk to y'all about, one of the things I want to talk to y'all about, and hear me out on this, right? One of the things that I want to talk to y'all about, and listen, when I say this, don't think I'm forcing a narrative, because a lot of the times we get confused with this thing in Knicks universe. All Uncle Freezy want to talk about is what he want to talk about. Nah, what I'm saying is this, because I have my own ideas. I'm comfortable and confident in myself. I don't need people to co-sign for me, right? But what I do, or co-sign to me, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't need all of that stuff, man. I got a good life, right? The thing that I do like, though, the things I do like is a productive conversation when people that are passionate say smart stuff. I like that. That's what I like. And so sometimes I have to introduce certain things to kind of, make it easy, make the road easier for people to get into, to share their ideas, so to speak. You know what I mean? And so one of the things that I want to talk to y'all about today is the development of Obi Toppin. Right? And I'm going to talk to y'all about the development of Immanuel Quickley also, but I want to start with the development of Obi Toppin. Right? And so before we start down that road, I just want to make sure everybody know I'm not jumping out the window for Obi, right? But I'm not an Obi hater either. Right? And let me start by initiating or let me start by making sure the dance floor is straight for us to have to talk about Obi's development. All right. Jay Giant is in the building. Paris Duggar, what's good? Corey Lee, what's good? Kaz Middleton, what's good? Manchild says, we've got a good young core and a plethora of draft picks. Let's stay the course instead of chasing aging stars. I feel you. I feel you, right? But let me introduce this though, because what you're saying makes sense in a sense, but you have to look at the bigger picture, right? Because no team is going to play 12 kids 24 and under. That's a fact. Okay? You have never seen that before. But let's talk about the development of Obi, right? Let's start with the areas of improvement, right? Let's start with the areas of improvement with Obi, right? And I want y'all to list the areas of improvement for Obi right in the chat. And then that way we can get that stuff out of the way so that we can gush about the good things for a little while. Okay? Y'all understand my strategy? Let's get the areas of improvement out of the way. Let's clear the air on that, right? And then that way we can get to the good stuff. You feel me? It's like, let's take all the wrapping paper off the present, get that out the way, and then play with and then enjoy the present. right? So my main thing, my area of improvement for Obi, my main area of improvement with Obi Toppin is defense. Obi's defense is trash. Darren Wayne was good. Rayology hit my point here. Obi got to improve defense. Yes. And so Obi's deal, in my opinion, is not a lack of effort. It's the analytical part, the thinking the game, right? The ability to become more of a two-way player as opposed to a fast break player. What's gonna happen? What's gonna have to happen with Obi? What's gonna have to happen with Obi is he is gonna have to sacrifice some of the sprinting out in the open court for half court defense. It's just what it is. I can't stress to y'all enough how frustrated I, as a fan, get when I see Obi and Immanuel Quickley arguing underneath the rim after a made basket. Quickley like, yo, that was your man. And Obi like, nah, that ain't my man. He had the basket. And then common sense tells me, why would a 6'9" springy power forward with a 44-inch vertical tell a guard, a perimeter player, that's his responsibility to protect the rim after a made basket? It makes me want to jump off a building, right? Why would a 6'9" springy athlete tell a small wing player, a perimeter player, no, that wasn't my responsibility at the rim. That was your man. Obi, stop it, man. That's one of those things that frustrates me with Obi, because I see him do it with RJ, with Quickley, and with other young players. After say a wing player scores at the basket, a guard scores at the basket, and they're like, yo, Obi, come on. He's like, that wasn't my man. Obi, come on, big dog. Come on, Obi. Come on, Obi. We got to take pride down there. It don't matter if it's your man or not. You still got to protect the basket, bro. You one of the tallest people on the team. You one of the most athletic people on the team. You one of the biggest people on the team, bro. You got to protect the basket. Even if it wasn't your man, you got to be like, oh, okay, I'll switch on to him and take him. Anything coming to the basket, I'll switch and take that guy and protect the rim. Right? You don't have to, it doesn't have to be your man. You get switched onto Kyrie and Kyrie's headed to the basket, that's your man. That's your man, bro. Don't let Kyrie finish at the basket. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Obi, don't chase Nicholas Claxton out of the paint so that Kyrie can come to the paint and score on a layup. Don't do that, man. And I know people hate when I say, like, when I criticize Obi, and this is like, critiques. I love, like, what I'm saying is, when I'm talking to you about is areas of improvement. Areas of improvement. Yo, Soulfinger's in the building. What's good, Soulfinger? Jay Giant is in the building. What's good? Paris Duggar says, oh, well, man, something to me. We have to sacrifice one more year to acquire more young talent through the draft of 2022 and 23, then win it all in 24. I disagree with you there, but I just want to talk to the Obi point, and then once I finish with the Obi point and the Quickley point, then we'll definitely get to that, because we're gonna have all summer to discuss what you just said. All summer. The lottery. Think about this. The lottery isn't for like another month. We got another month before the draft lottery, right? And then after the draft lottery, you got 6 weeks. So you're talking about 10 weeks before we even get to the draft, right? Here's my other knock on not knock, but area of improvement for Obi Toppin. I need Obi at 6'9" and super athletic to be a dominant rebounder, not just a what's the word I'm looking for? Not just a I'm looking for a word. I have the phrase in my mind. I can't find the word though. Man, I feel like now I feel like the old professor. Anybody in here been to college? Y'all know when you be in the lecture and the professor has a certain phrase that he's trying to say with contrition, like a 2-word paragraph that he can sum up in 1 word, and he can't find the word. That's what I feel like right now. Andrew College is in the building. 69 vibes. What's good? So my thing is with Obi is I need for him to be or I would like for him to be a high level rebounder and not just a Johnny on the spot rebounder, basically. Right. And I know his numbers, his rebounding totals have gone up, but I don't know if his rebounds per minute has gone up. See, I like for his rebounds per minute to go up and not his rebounds per game to go up. Jay Boogie is in the building. What's good? Right. All right. So anybody have any other areas of improvement for Obi? Because I think rebounding is one, rim protection is one. You know what I'm saying? Rebounding and rim protection is one. And I guess what I'm saying is I'd like for Obi to be a more of a 2-way player as opposed to a great finesse power forward. Right? A great finesse power forward. I don't want him to be that. That's not my preference. I want him to be a 2-way guy. I'd love to see Obi at 23 and 11. Like 23, 11, 3 assists, a block, and shooting 55, 80, and 35, 37 from 3. Right? I'd love for Obi to put up borderline all-star numbers and have an impact on the game. My deal is I don't think Obi will ever be a great defender. Ever. 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 Right? But here's the thing. That's okay. That's okay. Right? Because if he rebounds and shows some level of rim protection, that means our roster is more flexible. Right? That means our roster is more flexible. That means you don't have to just play Obi at the 4. You can play Obi some at the 5 in small lineups. When teams go ultra small, you can put Obi at the 5. Right? Reality says, but he's willing. I can tolerate that at the bare minimum. But but the thing about it is I'm speaking to areas of improvement. I'm not talking about I gotta have it today. I'm talking about I need to have this thing manifest itself over time. Because young players get better over time. They don't just go away one summer and come back Michael Jordan. Nah. They build these things over time. They get better over time. Right? Things get better over time. Cheryl M says Obi is too small to play the 5. I think he plays too small to play the 5. I don't think at 6'9", 220. Because listen, there's no way Sherwin M. And I appreciate you, bro. But there's no way you telling me that Obi Toppin can't guard somebody in our division. Chris Boucher. There's no way you could tell me that Obi Toppin shouldn't be able to guard Chris Boucher. There's no way somebody can tell me that Obi Toppin shouldn't be able to guard Nicholas Claxton. Right? Mr. Vince says, can Obi master a mid-range game? I think so. I don't think that's one of his immediate areas of improvement right now. Because if he rebounds more productively and protects the rim more productively, I think you're looking at a whole different person. Right? All right, so let's start with the gushing part. Right? Let's start with the gushing part. What is Obi Toppin really good at? So Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says Obi has a knack on when to leak out. It's his gift. Yeah. I agree. I agree with you. Evergreen G is in the building. What's good? And Mr. Vince says, was Amare a great defender? No. But Amare was also 6'10", almost 6'11", and was 260 pounds of granite. Right? Amare was almost 6'11", without shoes on. Almost 6'11", and 260. And physical. Amare like dunking on people. Big Mike, what's good? DeCoulis, what's good? Soulfinger says, so he is too small to play the 5 because he is 6'7", and you say not 6'9". So I guess barely was too short. In fact, oh, you talking about Barkley to play the power forward? Asking, yeah, I feel you. He's talking about Barkley. I think Barkley is an outlier though. Like Zion is an outlier. All right. So the things that Obi is good at, for one, I think, and I'm projecting to next season because I saw flashes this season, and I want to project to next season. So I think Obi has a high basketball IQ offensively. Now, y'all saw what I said. I alluded to Obi having a low basketball IQ defensively, like getting confused on when to switch on to a bigger player, a smaller player, and all these things. I think I don't know if film work will help him with that, right? But offensively, I think the dude has a gift. Offensively, I think the dude has a gift, right? Offensively, I feel like the dude has a legit gift for scoring. right? I think his touch around the rim is improving. I think his moves going to the basket are improving. Right? The 3-point shot is definitely improving. I don't think you'll see Obi. I don't see a world where Obi will shoot 58% from three over 5 games. I don't see a world where that's going to continue to happen. But I could see 37%, 38%. I could see that. Right. Let me do this too. Sometimes I get carried away. Ray says he's the only one on that team besides Cam's ability to get an easy bucket. Yep. Yep. So what is what are y'all thoughts on Obi? Is Obi Toppin the future of the power forward position for the New York Knicks? Give me your opinion on that. Is Obi Toppin the future of the power forward position for the New York Knicks? Hey, y'all, and just to make y'all laugh, Benny is in the other room snoring like a chainsaw. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the other dog. That's Gaston. That's the English bulldog doing that. My bad. The Public Enemy is in the building. The Public Enemy says Obi is no. Okay, yeah. Oh, all right. So I thought that was going in one direction and it didn't. So Ray says absolutely, unquestionably, Obi is our power forward. Right. Right. So here's the thing with Obi, and I'll wrap on Obi real quick just so that we won't, so that we can introduce other players. Right. I do believe Obi is the power forward of the future. Y'all know how I feel about Randle, right? I feel like even right now, Julius Randle is a better player than Obi Toppin. Even at this moment, even with Randle's down stats and Obi's great games late in the season, I still feel like that Randle is a better player, but I don't think the situation is right. I think the Julius Randle in New York thing is kind of like Ben Simmons in Philly. Like you have to get rid of the guy in order to save both entities from self-destructing. My man Jay Boogie says Amare wasn't 260 coming into the league. Hold on, wait a minute. Amare was big, bro. Let me look at what draft class was Amare in? 2005? 2005 NBA draft. I think he was in. Let me see. What draft class was he in? Bogut, Williams, Chris Paul. I didn't think he was in the 2004 draft class, was he? Iguodala. Josh Childress? Let me go back. Jarvis Hayes. Oh God, Mike Sweetney. Oh, sometimes when you look back at these drafts and you see people in there, you're like, God dog it. So Amare Stoudemire was in the 2002 draft, right? And my man was. Wait a minute. Did this thing just say that Chris Wilcox was drafted? Chris Wilcox was drafted ahead of Amare. Nene, the Knicks drafted Nene Hilario in front of Amare Stoudemire. What in the world, man? Oh my God. See, that's why I don't like looking back at the draft. Because we had Nene, Chris Wilcox, and Jared Jeffries, and they all came out in that draft. Fred Jones was in that draft. We had Fred Jones also. Oh my God. Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna get away from that just real quick. Get away from the Amare thing, but Amare was a big boy coming in. Amare was a big boy coming in the league. So I don't know if he was 260 exactly, but I know Amare was huge coming into this league, right? Huge. And maybe he was Jericho Sims' size. Maybe he was 6'10", 245 or something like that. Maybe he was. Maybe he was 245 or something like that. But still, compared to 220, that's a 25-pound difference. It's a lot of weight. Right? But my point though with Obi is not necessarily I don't want to compare Obi and Amare Stoudemire. Right? I don't want to compare Obi and Amare. Because one guy was a power athlete that developed elite touch, and the other guy is an elite finesse athlete that has do-it-all skills on offense, and we just seen the tip of the iceberg. Right? Defensively, no bueno. Right? Right? Let me get to Immanuel Quickley. Right? Let's talk to the areas of improvement for Immanuel Quickley. Right? Right now, I don't know where Immanuel Quickley has a glaring weakness. I personally, I don't think Immanuel Quickley has a glaring weakness. I was told that his handles are an area of weakness, but I don't think so. I think this kid could get on the floor any way he wants to, when he wants to, with his dribble, with his handles, right? The only thing, though, is when you're on the floor with the R.J. Barrett, whose jumper is suspect, Mitchell Robinson, and the Julius Randle clamoring for the ball, it puts you in a situation where you don't get to show off your whole arsenal. Sherwin M says, IQ's left hand is weak. Let's add that to the conversation. Let's add that to the conversation. Left hand where? Is it? Are you saying left hand finishing at the basket? Are you talking about left-handed dribble? Are you talking about left hand passing? Are you talking about all of the above? Let me know what you're talking about. Because saying left hand weak is kind of yeah. It's kind of like saying Uncle Freezy need to lose weight. I can see that, but being healthy and stronger is probably more important than just losing weight. Right? Basketball minds. Let me know what you is Immanuel Quickley's left hand weak? Is he a bad left-handed passer? Is he a bad left-handed passer going to his right? Is he a bad left-hand passer going to his left? Right? Is he a bad left-handed driver going to his right? Is he a bad left-handed, or is he like a bad left-handed player going to his left? Can he finish with his left? Can he throw up the floater with his left? Right? So there are a lot of things to ask and speak to. Right? All right. Yeah, Immanuel Quickley. Like, what is Immanuel Quickley's weaknesses? His areas of improvement. Okay. So this is a touchy topic with Immanuel Quickley, but I'm here to say this because I don't think it's all his fault. Right? Shot selection. Shot selection, in my opinion, was Quickley's number one area of improvement. But I don't think it was all Quickley. I think Tom Thibodeau had a big hand in that. Tom Thibodeau would legit be about 15 feet away, screaming to the top of his lungs, "Shoot it! Shoot it! Shoot it!" That's no bueno. But if your coach is telling you to shoot it and you want to stay on the floor, guess what? You shoot it. It's like ISO Randle. People get mad at ISO Randle, right? They're like, man, Randle ISO a lot. But Coach Thibodeau is 15 feet away screaming ISO, ISO, ISO. If you Randle, what you gonna do? Will Salkin, thank you for the saucing, man. Thank you for that. Will Salkin says Draft Express had Amare at 6'10", 233. We'll go with that. So we won't go with 245 or we won't go with 260. We'll go with 233. Thank you for that, Saucin. Thank you for that, Jay Boogie and Will Salkin. Appreciate y'all. Pudge Nice is in the building. What's good? What's good? Yo, I left Chuck out there hanging on vibes and stuff this morning, man, because we got a lot of stuff going on, man. Got a puppy, me grinding all these hours and stuff, man. It's kind of taxing a little bit. Your man fell. I was trying to rock yesterday, man. I was gonna take like a 10-minute nap, and I messed around and fell asleep. Yeah, it's been rough, right? It's been rough on the old boy here lately. You know what I'm saying? I be wanting to rock every day. I want to be wanting to lead the league and Knicks content. You know what I'm saying? But you know how it is. You know the human body. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Mr. Vince says IQ shows great promise throwing lobs to Obi Sims and such. Hey, Jay, I thought I put the link in the chat. I put the link in the chat already. I think I put the link in the chat, but I'll put it in. Why is it not showing up? Okay. Bim, there it is. Okay. Yeah, Ray. I be wanting to lead the league in Knicks content creation minutes. You know what I'm saying? Be wanting to lead the league in that. So here's the area, another area of improvement for Immanuel Quickley. Finding your second and third options in the pick and roll play. When you run the pick and roll, you can't just say, "Hey, if he's not open, I'm shooting it." Right? You don't want to just say, "If he's not open, I'm shooting it." And I'm sure that's what he's being taught right now because he's young. But yeah, we don't want it to be that. We want you to look around more quickly.
Let's get it. Y'all be spitting with your flows, I'm just podcasting.
That's right.
On the air every day, I'm just podcasting. You don't know what that mean when I say I'm podcasting. I'm broadcasting these flows with the podcasting. Every day of my life, I'm just podcasting.
Right.
Share my dreams with you, mean I'm podcasting.
What?
You can see my vision through the podcasting.
Yeah.
But don't forget Jay Boogie when I'm broadcasting.
What?
I'm podcasting,
What?
he's podcasting.
What?
I've been spitting this venom since Karate Flicks. When Mr. Sims was sharing nothing but the Knicks. I guess you know by now, I seen some tough years. Now I know the reason why Freezy got them Blorange Tears.
Bim, good morning.
Yo, AM, my brother, what's good with you, man? How you doing, man?
I'm Gucci, bro. Happy birthday.
Man, appreciate that, man. It's a blessful day, man, to leave 53 and to come into 54. Man, I feel good, man. I feel real good, man.
Good. How the
Okay,
fam?
man.
How the fam doing?
Everybody's good. Everybody's blessed. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's safe. You know what I'm saying? More
Right.
important, man. You know, that's the only thing, you know. Everybody's good, man. Shout out to the chat, greatest people it is in the world, man. Just wanted to come up here and rock with you for a few moments, man. You know what I'm saying? And, and just, shoot the jab, see what's happening. I hear you talking.
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah,
talk.
man. How your friend from Rocky Mount doing?
You talking about Sarge?
No, the other one. Remember the dude you was with? You said, "Hey, man, this dude." Right here from Rocky
Oh,
Mount.
you know what? I just saw him the other day over the weekend, man. We kicked it for a few minutes, man. He kept telling me, man, make sure you eat some of that, you know what I'm saying, that turkey sausage spaghetti I made, man.
Yeah.
He did some cooking for the next door neighbor, which is family of mine. So, you know what I'm saying? I hollered at him then, but yeah, he doing all right, man. For real, man. He doing okay, man.
Good. Yeah, man. I found that was crazy, man. He said, yeah, man, he from Rocky Mount. I was like, man, I used to live in Rocky Mount. Yeah, but anyway, man, the Obi thing is intriguing to me, bro. I think the future is bright for the Knicks. I do, however, when I speak to how good these kids are right now and how good they can be, say that with the caveat that I know these kids need to improve in certain areas, right? I don't want to put them in the category with the Zach LaVines and the Bradley Beals and all of that. I don't want to do that, right? And I'm not talking about in terms of talent and production. I'm talking about how I feel about them as NBA players. I don't want to put them in that category yet. I want them to prove themselves, let them earn their way to the top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that old what's the dude name that made that song Keep Rising to the Top? Kenny something. What's his name?
I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name, but I know. I supposed to know that song too, because that's our anthem, man. I think I set it up here on your show before. Dougie Fresh stole that from us in Queens.
Yeah,
man.
Queens
Anthem right there. 40 projects.
Yeah, man.
Rising to the top.
Yeah, man. I forget my man's name, but we want our players to rise to the top. We don't want to push our players up there. We want them to earn their way there, right? And so what we're witnessing right now is that these players are rising to the top. They're earning their way to the top. For instance, Immanuel Quickley is now in the starting point guard conversation. I ain't saying he the starting point guard. Would I like to see it? Yes. Does him, is he in the conversation? Yes. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Obi Toppin should be getting starters minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he earning that situation, or is somebody giving that to him? Because there's a difference, man. You feel me? Like Obi, is Obi in that starting power forward conversation because he's earning something? Or is it like the silver spoon in your mouth type situation? Right. And
Right.
so what my preference is that these young kids earn everything that they get. And then that way, when they get there, they'll be able to stay there on their own. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, man. So I understand. Kenny Burke. That's right. That's his name. Kenny Burke. Keep rising to the top.
All right.
Hey, appreciate that a lot wise. I appreciate it, because it would have. You know how you keep thinking about something, and then when you walk away from the conversation, that's when it comes to you. You're like, God, dog it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when you think about it, you're like, dang, that's what I was gonna say. But the people already gone who you was gonna say.
Everybody already gone. Yeah, you like, God, dog it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think Obi is in a great position right now. He's in a position where he could take that forcefully. And what I mean by that is some of the things that Julius Randle done this year, the office can push him out of the way.
Yeah.
Right? But some of the things that Julius Randle did this year can also allow the office to keep him here. But the thing about, they can move him out the way because they had a chance to see what Obi can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If Obi doesn't show none of that, then they might not even be thinking about trying to move him. But now Obi gives them a thought that, like, yeah, I could step in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And bring different things to the table. You know, and Obi is a hard worker. He gonna work hard. You know, he gonna go all the way in. I think Obi's biggest issue right now of his game is gonna be minutes.
Okay.
If Obi gets the minutes, he's gonna prosper.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if Obi ain't in the gym right now.
Right.
Because he has an opportunity to do a few things coming into this year. One thing is, be ready just in case your number is pulled and Julius is go. You got to be ready.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Second thing is, also work on those things that can critique around Julius just in case he don't go nowhere. So Tom knows you have to consistently continue putting this man on the floor. But Obi is in a position. It's just up to the office what's going to happen. Quickley, I like Quickley's game. I really do. He ain't scared.
Right.
I think if these are my two scenarios, because I know they've been out in Dallas watching this boy, Brunson. This is my scenario. And I would like for it to go in this order. If we're going swinging to go get somebody, I want to go get Donovan Mitchell first. Let me get Donovan Mitchell first. And then let me see about Brunson. I don't want to go Brunson first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go Donovan first. And then let's talk to Brunson and figure out what it is. You know, because I can go Brunson. Oh, I can go Brunson, Donovan, and RJ.
Right.
I can do that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I can do that.
Okay.
But I don't want to do Brunson first. Donovan's a wash. And then I got RJ and Brunson. And here I am. I'm paying these guys almost $300 million in my backcourt for the next 4 to 5 years. Wondering, is these two guys going to take me to a championship? I don't see that combination going championship.
I agree with you.
That's just me. You know,
Right.
my third scenario is if I can get Donovan, I can still slide IQ with that.
Right.
I can go IQ with Donovan.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Donovan don't have to worry about doing so much playmaking as he does in Utah. You know what I'm saying? So, but IQ, man, he has a whole lot of potential. Even if we don't go get nobody else, the only thing IQ will have to do is make the next step to the team as the director and let them know y'all gonna go through me.
I'm the conductor.
Yeah.
Be more assertive.
Yeah, RJ, you the man. I'm gonna get you the ball where you're most effective.
Right.
If Julius still here, Julius, we know what you do. I'm gonna get you the ball 10 feet and in. All that 3-point and out, that's done with.
That's done with. Let
me do. If he takes his game to that level where he's telling them guys, I'm conducting and y'all, I'm gonna get y'all right, then he's arrived. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing IQ need to do. Because he got everything else. Almost. He's almost there. But more time on that floor, he'll get even better, man.
Hey, let me speak to a couple things that you said because a lot of the stuff that you said made sense, right? And so let me speak to the Obi Toppin thing in the gym thing first, right? So if you are Obi Toppin, are you preparing this offseason as if you're the starting power forward for the Knicks?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So what are you looking to improve on? Like, what's your first thing? Because in order to be a starter, you have to have a certain level of conditioning. Right. You got to have because listen, 30 minutes sounds like, 30 minutes. He should probably be getting 35, 37 minutes. Bro, there's a big difference between playing 19 minutes a game and 30 minutes at peak level.
Big difference.
And there's a significant difference between 30 minutes and 35 minutes at peak level. You see players' legs start to go. Like Julius Randle, I think the reason why Julius Randle's shot is not going is not because he's a bad player.
Right.
But during the Thibodeau era and back-to-back years, you see this dude play like 37, 38 minutes a game. Right, for a dude that's 260 pounds or 250, whatever they have him listed at. Julius Randle is a big man, bro, and to be playing on a man, we saw Julius Randle in bro. Listen, chat, y'all have no idea how big Julius Randle is until you see him in person. Right? I was at the game. I saw Julius Randle standing next to Obi Toppin. Bro, Randle is a large human being. Don't get it twisted. Randle is big, right? And so I saw him standing next to Jericho Sims. It's like, wow, Randle is big, man.
Right.
But if you're Obi though, to the Obi point, if you're Obi, you may not have to put on weight, but you definitely have to come back in the best shape of your life if you trade Randle, right? So that you could come through in the clutch in these fourth quarters. I think what happened with Randle is Tom Thibodeau wore Randle down physically. I'm not blaming Tibbs for everything, bro. Y'all know how. I'll let the fans do, other fans do that, like blame Tibbs and blame everybody for everything, or for what they or for their opinion of what has happened. I'll let other people have the opinion. My opinion is Tibbs wore down RJ and Randle when he could have been playing. He could have been giving those extra minutes to IQ and Obi Toppin.
Exactly.
And you might have gotten this end of season result sooner, as opposed to Randle and RJ being out due to injury.
Real quick, why I ain't gonna be long with it. Real quick, why you saying that? Remember in the beginning of the season, we was all in agreement, like, yo, we might have the best bench in the league.
Yep.
And he didn't even use it.
Didn't even use it. Wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. Let me say it. Let me say it differently. I don't think he used the bench properly.
Okay.
Right? Because at the beginning of the season, we knew Rose should have been getting 20 minutes.
Right.
And there were games where Derrick Rose was getting 30 minutes. We were like, what's going on?
For what?
What's going on? Why are you not playing Quickley in this role? Where's Miles McBride at? Where's Grimes? Right? And I'm not saying a coach should have a 12-man rotation. What I'm saying, if you're down by 20, and this happened several times. If you're down by 20 or up by 20, why do I still see Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, and Taj Gibson? And so it boggles my mind, bro, that early in the season we put these open road miles on engines that don't need open road miles. You feel me?
Right.
It's like the old car you got. Your car already got 200,000 miles on it. Why are you trying to drive that car 4 states over? Just rent a car, man. And come on, man. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. Now, if you can't afford to rent a car, I understand that the scenario might not work. But in this case, when you got fresh legs, why not let the fresh legs play?
Exactly. Just especially so the other legs can heal.
Right. And so they don't break down late in the season. Up too late. Derrick Rose by December, Derrick Rose was already broken down from playing. He didn't. If you look at the average minutes, it don't look like he played an exorbitant amount of minutes. But we remember those games where Derrick Rose played 31 minutes. We like, oh my God, why is Rose still out here? We down by 20. Where's Miles McBride? Give Miles McBride 4 of those minutes. What can it hurt when you already? And then at the end of the game, you lose by 17. And so you like, well, at least we didn't lose by 20. No, come on, man.
What is the difference?
What's the difference between, say you put Miles McBride out there and he does look like a disaster and we do lose by 25. There is no difference between losing by 25 and losing by 17. You still lost.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, I think the same thing. I think he did the same thing to RJ and to Randle. Right? Quickley could have been playing more minutes. Grimes could have definitely been playing earlier, sooner. Right? But Tibbs chose not to go that route. We all regret it. And hopefully we can learn from this.
Yeah,
right?
I hope he, you're coming back. You're coming back, Tom. I hope that you continue on using this same scenario we finished up on.
Right.
If everybody's coming back, say the whole team is coming back or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I hope you learn, Tom, because this is the only way it's going to work. It's the only way it's going to work. You're going to have to.
Right.
You're going to have to.
Right. Hey, so Danielle is grilling me. Danielle said, Freezy, stop it. You did not say that. The older shows are still posted. Hey, man, listen. It's just like in most things. When you get better information, you make smarter decisions. Right? If you get better information and still make the same dumb decisions, that's not an indictment on the information. That's an indictment on you. Right? When you get better information, you make better. When you get better information, you say more pertinent stuff. That's just how it is. At the time, we didn't know. J Book, you ever made a mistake?
Plenty.
Me too. But in the moment when I was making a mistake, I may not have thought it was a mistake. I might have thought it was the right thing to do. And then based on how the outcome turned out, it wound up being a mistake.
Yeah.
But once I got more information, I could look back on it and be like, yeah, I made a mistake right there.
I was wrong. Yep.
Yeah. That's just you just gotta rock with that. And I know we live in a soundbite era, right? And in a snippet era where people say have receipts, so to speak, about certain things. But what I'm getting at is not trying to grill Danielle. What I'm saying is and not even to defend my stance then, What I'm saying right now is if we had known then what we know now, then what we said then would have been different. Is all I'm getting at. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And so,
Oh, just for the people, I ain't got no Philadelphia 76ers jersey on. This is my squad right here. So I want y'all to come over here on some Embiid. No, we ain't gonna do that.
nah, man. Well, Embiid went to Kansas.
I know that, but this it does look like the Sixers from the top,
Yeah.
especially after what he did last night. Yeah, I know he's a Jayhawk.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And shout out to Kansas, man. Congratulations to those guys. I say that begrudgingly, but when people are better than you, you have to give them credit. So
you have to. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Dope Soul Sports Talk. We know who this is. Hey, make sure y'all go check out. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We already know who this is. Saying Steph, we would like an invite someday. Hopefully we can all get an invite. You know what I'm saying, to come hang out with you.
Shout out to the queen, man. Beautiful person, man.
Yeah,
the one here of the podcasters, man. Shout out to the beautiful queen, man.
Yeah, man. And so Steph says, but Freezy, how do we know Obi would have performed this way earlier? It's possible this entire experience got him to this point at the end of the season. And listen, that's a great question, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the question that I asked at the end of the season before Obi erupted for 30 and 40. I was telling people that Obi wasn't ready and he needed that incubation period, right? But what I'm saying is start the incubation period earlier is what I'm saying. So he may not have been 40 point in a game, Obi, say all season, right? But if this is the track that he wound up being on, I believe if you started the track earlier, then maybe we have seen him get better over time, right? Instead of him breaking out in April, he may have broken out in late March. And if you would have played him more in November, December, instead of Obi breaking out in late April, maybe Obi would have broke out in maybe late February, is what I'm getting at. I understand everybody needs time, right? Every young person, player, thing that strives for greatness needs an incubation period, right? Like for instance, one of my favorite people in the rap industry is Grand Poobah, right? And so Grand Poobah was in a group before Brand Nubian, right? Grand Poobah was in a group called Masters of Ceremony, right? It was a DJ, a reggae dude, and Grand Poobah, right? And so Grand Poobah needed that incubation period with that group in order to get better. So by the time he got to Brand Nubian, he was already erupting, right? But the incubation period can't be slept on, right? Because you have to hone your craft and get better, go through the ups and downs and all those things in order for you to have the impact that you desire. But the road to your success is not always smooth. And so what I tell people that aspire to do things on YouTube is this: the road to success on YouTube is littered with the bodies of people that quit, right? That road to success that you travel down to get to success is littered with bodies of people that quit. So you can be one of those, bodies, so to speak, in the road that quit, or you can persevere. Or persevere. Is it persevere or persevere? You could persevere, right? And continue grinding until you reach your goal, right? And those bodies that's in the road, so to speak, are not stumbling blocks, right? They're not stumbling blocks. They're steps for you. You got to keep going, got to keep grinding. And that was my thing with Obi, right? I wanted Obi to, because Obi is not successful yet, right? He's on the road to success. But I want Obi to persevere and keep getting better, keep grinding. And then that way, when he does reach that level of success that he so desires, right? He'll have gone through these ups and downs. So his success won't be a flash in the pan success. It'll be long-term sustainable success by that man because he put the work in. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at with the Obi thing. And I know I took a long, I got like G-Man just now. I went around the world and back again just to make a point. You know what I'm saying? But y'all see what I'm getting at.
You know, when you cooking something, when you want to cook a meal or something, you know, you go through your refrigerators, you look in your cabinets and everything, and you be like, oh, dang, I don't have this right here. You know, when you find out what you don't have, you go get what you need.
Right.
And the display that Obi was showing on the floor for us was something that we didn't have. We didn't have speed. You know how low we are as far as scoring. We didn't have athleticism. You know what I'm saying? You know, we didn't have these certain things. So when you go get what you need and you start cooking with it, it makes your meal better. Right. This is what Obi has brought to the table for us. He's making our meal better because he brings a certain, you know, level of energy and effort to the team that we don't have. And, you know, he's been waiting to bust out the gate like the Kentucky Derby on some and they off type thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I like to look at what I don't have versus I like to look at things, what I don't have or what do I need versus the things I have. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes everything that you have don't always last. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have something that's always coming to me. And it's good to know that Obi is coming to us. You know what I'm saying? He's working along. And it all happened because of opportunity. Whatever the scenario, the situation was, why he got on the floor and his opportunity, whatever, he took complete advantage of it. He didn't have to look over his head, his shoulders, no nothing. For playing time, I'm here rest of the season. That's 20, 19, 30-something, 40-something, round out the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good look. It gives me a promising, you know what I'm saying, a promising look with Obi that he has to be looked at come, you know, at the beginning of training camp. If Julius is here, you're going to have to figure out a way to utilize this guy on the court. You cannot have him doing another 9 minutes here and there. You cannot have him shooting one shot and then all of a sudden you pull him out and all that. You can't do that with him because he has showed that, yo, give me a chance, you know what I'm saying, and I'm a biggie. All I need is one more, and I'm going to do what I got to do, you know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah. We got a lot of things going on, man. We got a core young guys.
Yeah. Yo, so that's the other thing I wanted to ask you, Jay Boogie. Do we have a core or do we have something bigger than a core?
We got a core because, I'll be honest with you, some of them I don't even need them. Some of them I don't need them. You know what I'm saying? I think I got 4. I think the 4 core that I got is Quickley, RJ,
Obi.
I'm gonna say it might be 5, but it's up to Cam to figure out what it is he's gonna do.
Okay.
You know, I can't keep saying to myself, Cam needed Cam. Cam got to force his issue. He got to come back to training camp ready to go. But I'm gonna put in that scenario, so I'm gonna say 5. I do got Quickley, RJ, Cam, Obi, and I got Sims. Anything else? Well, I got slight Grimes, and I got slight, you know what I'm saying?
McBride, yeah.
But if them 2 dudes right there can go along with bringing me something more potent and dominant with a couple of picks. That's why I'm only using these 5 guys. Unless it's necessary, I can pull one of them out. But we got some guys that can develop, man. I keep telling you, before the Phoenix Suns got to be in the Phoenix Suns, they was the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
They was the Memphis Grizzlies. They was what Cleveland did last year, the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's certain steps that you have to take to get to the promised land. And that's where we at. Next year, we should be coming in there feeling like the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's sad to say. You know what I'm saying? It's sad to say, but you have to say it because they did what they did this year. They went to, you know what I'm saying? They did what they did. We have to come in there looking and knock one of these 3 C's head off. You know, they took ours, the Cleveland, the Chicago, and the Charlotte Hornets. We had to take one of them slots back next year because all 3 of them just pushed us out the way. And we was like, whoa, what is Cleveland doing making these moves? They ain't got LeBron over there no more. They couldn't do that with Kyrie.
Right.
They build and they gelling and they rocking with that young core. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we got to do, man. This is what we got to do.
And so the thing that Cleveland did, and those that don't notice will not understand this concept. What Cleveland did is took the ball out of Colin Sexton's hand as the primary playmaker and put it in Darius Garland's hand as the primary playmaker. And immediately Cleveland took off.
Immediately.
Right? Because Darius Garland is a more unselfish player at the point guard position. He'll score the same amount of points, is a better 3-point shooter. Maybe not the defender, but that's okay. Because no one play is perfect. Every player has flaws, man. Every player. Even Giannis, it can't shoot free throws. Right? Every player has flaws, man. Right? Like LeBron may not be clutch all the time. Like he's A+ at everything across the board historically, except maybe being clutch. You know what I'm saying? And that's no knock on LeBron because no player is perfect, right?
Exactly.
So the thing with Darius Garland and Colin Sexton and the Cleveland Cavaliers franchises, when they took the ball out of a shoot first point guard's hand, right, and put it into a pass first offensive facilitator's hand that could shoot the three and made the floor balanced, you saw the reject from the Brooklyn Nets, Jared Allen. They signed him to 5 years, $100 million. And people were like, what?
Sure.
And you paired him with Darius Garland, and all of a sudden, you saw both of those players get better, right? The ebb and flow. You know what I'm saying? I like to call it doo-wop. Like when two dudes get on the microphone and they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
And you feel the chemistry there. Like a Run DMC. Like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel the chemistry there, right? I'm here to tell you that I think once they put the ball in Immanuel Quickley's hands full time, I think you'll get that doo-wop, that co-op. You know what I'm saying? Like multiple entities coming together, you know what I'm saying, and developing chemistry as opposed to one man trying to do all the heavy lifting by himself. Right. I think that's what you got with Julius Randle. One man trying to lift the franchise by himself, as opposed to saying, hey, okay, guys, now you're good enough to do this thing. And I think that's what might be with Randle, where Randle comes in next season. If he's still here and he embraces this thing like, okay, Obi, you are good enough to play with me, right? RJ, you are good enough to share this load. Quickly, I do trust you enough. I do think you can carry the load. Right, I think you'll see the entire team get. That's what Cleveland did, right? Because they have draft picks on that team that ain't did nothing. Like Isaac Okoro was drafted in front of Obi Toppin, and you don't even hear Isaac Okoro name that much.
Exactly.
Right. But the thing is, they got the right blend of young talent, willing to play with each other and play for each other. Right. They pass the ball when I don't have a shot. I'm excited to get somebody else another shot. Right? We had that in the past. Man, we had dudes at point guard like, hey, it's shoot first and shoot forever. As opposed to passing the ball. And Evan Fournier alluded to that at the beginning of the season. Mitchell Robinson had been saying it all season, like, man, you run up and down the floor and you don't even touch the ball. I get what Mitch is saying. I get what Fournier was saying. Now, do I believe Quickley is going to be an all-star point guard? That's not what I'm saying, right? And do I believe that the Knicks can take that step that Cleveland took this year? I hope so. But again, I'm still in wait and see mode. I want to see them play more team-oriented basketball.
But real quick though, Quickley can be an all-star. Because I'm gonna tell you, he is honestly Quickley is not that far off from that dude Van Fleet. He's not. If he gets a full season, a full load, he can put up those same numbers that Fleet doing. Maybe a couple of extra more steals, you know, and he can put up those slight all-star numbers. But when you talk about Garland, when you talk about Darius Garland,
right.
the most important thing about him, and just in case anybody thought it in the chat, the most important decision for him was the decision was made.
Right.
They made that decision on we going with Darius Garland before Sexton got hurt. Just in case somebody thinking, oh, well, he got that because he was hurt and all that. No, because remember, they was thinking about trading him to us and all over the place. So they had already made the decision that we going with this guy right here as our point guard. That's the type of decisions you have to make inside your franchise. The coach, you have to make that decision quickly. Here's the small thing. You're running the team.
Right.
You have to make the decisions early, and then people know what they're dealing with offhand. They know what they're walking into. You got guys coming into the season with their head down. Oh, man, what's gonna happen this year? You know what I'm saying? They motivated and they know what they're getting ready to get into, and they know what's being presented to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Give them guys what they earn before the time. There's nothing wrong with Tom. You calling quickly. Listen, if we don't make a major trade and bring somebody in, and you know what I'm saying, I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you this Spalding. You running this team next year. You know what I'm saying? That lets us do no. Oh man, and it's hard. Oh, I'm upbeat. I'm ready to go. Obi, you need to get yourself together because we get ready to trade Julius Randle, and that's your spot. Been waiting on that all year.
Right.
Letting your people know ahead of time, you know what I'm saying, and keeping them, you know what I'm saying, level with you, what's going on in the office and everything, will make everything that much smoother, man. You know what I'm saying? Sharing everything, keeping everybody up to date with what's going on. You can keep us out of the loop, but the team, from the office to the bench to the team, everybody should be on the same page knowing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Off top, offhand. I need to know. None of this, surprise stuff, you know what I'm saying? None of this, I don't know, you got to come in, you got to come and earn it. Nah, give to these guys ahead of time, and then they know what they're working on. Because you already know what need to be done. Because if you don't, we're going to let you know in the building.
Right.
Get them up there. They ain't
What's
yelling.
up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Ain't much, man. What's going on with your boogie woogie?
Hey, man.
Wonderland, what's going on with your partner?
What's up, boss?
Man, hey, man, y'all got some good combo, man. I'm sitting here, doing things around the house. I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, I love this conversation. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to tap in on Obi, man. I'm so excited for that young fella, man. Him and Quickley. It's been a long time since the Knicks had a tandem that came out of that draft that we can look at as young players and say, hey, we got something.
You ain't gonna come in here and just do that. Just say that again. Well, what?
It's been a long time since we looked at a Knicks squad that have two players that we drafted in the same draft that we look at and we say, you know what, we got something. Yep. Nobody can deny that them guys is NBA players now. Nobody, if you still questioning that, something wrong with you. And I was looking at Obi's numbers. What caught my attention? Don't you know that guy only started 10 games this season? And in them 10 games, didn't he have about 3 career highs? I want to know how long it took players, even very good players that got drafted, before they hit a 40-point mark.
Right. Exactly.
I want to know how, and I don't want nobody making no excuses, but they pull these players up. They wasn't playing their starters and none of that. Say that. The New York Knicks down the stretch, we had a lot of injuries. Starters weren't playing. Right. Mitchell Robinson wasn't playing. We didn't have our start point guard all season. Wasn't playing. Quickley didn't start playing. And that's another thing. Think about Quickley. Quickley got put into that starting lineup with the last few games of the season. And look how the offense looked. Not only that, look, Quickley had 2 triple-doubles, within the 3-game span? Right. And then to top it off with Quickley, one of the triple-doubles, I want somebody to look this up. Tell me the last time somebody got a triple-double when they came off the bench at that position.
Yeah, that's rare. That seems like it's rare, right?
Exactly. And this the thing, man. Obi and Quickley, both them guys enjoy playing together, and even just that young squad. them boys enjoy looking for each other. And what I think with Quickley, I'm gonna tell you this. I think y'all gonna see a big leap in Quickley next year, and I'm gonna tell you why. Quickley know now.
You mean y'all or everybody?
I won't say y'all, but I mean like the Knicks fan base. I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
The Knicks fan base is gonna see, because it's one thing in basketball when you start learning that you can get your shot anytime, pretty much you want it. You know what happens? You start diversifying your game, like diversifying your portfolio. And what I see with Quickley, I'm telling you right now, that guy, if they let him start next year, I'm telling you right now, he gonna average at least 6 assists next year in a starting role. And I'm looking at, I hope we take the route that Philly took with Maxey. Go ahead and take them training wheels off and let that man go. We don't go ahead and overpay for no point guard. We done seen that play out before. I'm not overpaid, and like I said the other day, Freezy, you remember I said, and I was gonna come back to it. We got more pressing needs than that point guard position right now. It doesn't flip because of what Quickley is doing. The pressing need is that center position. What are you gonna do about that? Because if Mitchell Robinson walk, God knows we in trouble. We are in trouble because Nerlens Noel, you can't count on him. I can't count on him. And Jericho is good, but he's still coming. So that's my early morning take, man.
Ray, what's good?
What's up, Ray?
You guys, what's up? How you doing? Hey, by the way, happy birthday, Jay Boogie. Happy birthday to you, King. Uncle Freezy, thank you for the platform as usual. Salute to the chat. Salute to everyone. I'm so glad Ron just made.
Yeah, we the soul food place, bro. Blorange said Blorange Tears is the soul food place. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't McDonald's, we ain't Ruth Chris, but we definitely have a reputation in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, we don't need that air food. We don't need that air food. We got soul food here. I'm so glad that Ron made that point, and of course, I want to stay on topic of what Uncle Freezy has been, kicked off the show with regarding Obi and IQ. But I'm so glad Ron brought that point up, that we need to address that center position, because if you study Tibbs' philosophy, it really is 48 minutes of rim protection and 48 minutes on the offensive side of second chance points. So it just begs the question of what we're going to do with that position. However, for all the Brunson fans that are out there, how much more of a talent is he over IQ? And if the margin is not that much, I'm kind of going with Jay Boogie. Like, if you're gonna swing for the fences. Bring in an impact player, bring in a high talent caliber player, someone, and that's going to incorporate all the things like being able to close games and all that. But then before you answer that question, here's the biggest question that we all have to answer. And I mentioned it on Queen's show the other day in the chat. What are we trying to be next year? Are we trying to be a playing team? Are we trying to be a playing team? Are we trying to be a lottery team? Because that is ultimately what's going to dictate what we bring in and whatnot, finding the foundation with guys like Obi and IQ, who they need to stay. They need to be here in this rotation. They don't need to be assets that you trade away or whatnot. They need to be here. They're part of Leon's legacy and administration. For that reason, I'm hanging on to them. Obi does need to he needs to become a better defender. He needs to become better on the boards. But his athleticism right now at this stage allows him to do what he does, and no one can really stop it. Teams got to show up and be honest in playing defense on him, because if they fall asleep, he's gone. Same thing with IQ in this NBA evolving league. And I'm sorry, Uncle Freezy, I know I'm trying to get the morning tip off like you usually do, but I'm just trying to shoot from all the points that you've made earlier. With IQ, he's a threat. He's a threat. Forget this whole nonsense of, is he a point guard? Is he not a point guard? Sure, there are things he needs to improve, but he's a threat at the position, and no one can. I'm not seeing a whole lot of people that can stop IQ at his position. He's playing the point guard position. If you ask me, is he a point guard? I don't know, but the brother can ball, and he's a ball player.
He's a ball player,
right? But Ray, to your point, let me say just a couple things real quick. Hey, bro, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying, shoot all your shots at once, man. I like to hear one at a time so we can break them down individually. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like you know what I'm saying? That's what I like to do. I like for the conversation to be robust. I don't like the conversation to be quick. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
And two, it's like wide receivers in football. And so Giants fans, if there are any, if the Giants still have fans,
Yo, hold.
and so
Hold up, Bill. Hold up, Bill. Hold up, Chicago Bill. Hold up. Thank you for your pick this year too.
Hey, appreciate you. Justin Fields is a fine question. But anyway, what I'm getting at, and Jay Boogie appreciate it. Ron, y'all appreciate this. Well, Ron won't because the Dolphins never have receivers. But you understand.
You forgot about
wide
them
receiver
Duper boys. You forgot about OJ McDuffie.
You asking for it, Uncle Freezy. You asking for it.
But now listen, what I'm
Hey,
getting at.
Hey, Freezy, before you go any further, them Duper boys revolutionized that thing, boy, with Marino with blowing the top off.
I wasn't born when Dan Marino was playing.
League.
I wasn't born back then. I wasn't born when Dan Marino was playing, bro. That was 7 years ago.
You better stop that, boy.
So what I'm getting at is this: all wide receivers are not built the same, right?
Yeah. Got that right.
Like all quarterbacks are not built the same, right? Like Peyton Manning and Michael Vick, just because they play the same position, they don't execute the same way, right? And it's the same thing with point guard. It's like wide receiver. The reason why I use the wide receiver reference is at one point the Minnesota Vikings had Randy Moss and Chris Carter.
Ooh-wee.
Both are wide receiver, Hall of Fame wide receivers, right? They played the same position, but they played in two totally different ways.
Yeah.
Right? Two totally, like for instance, point guards. You have, in this league right now, you have a Ja Morant and you have a Chris Paul. They both play the same position, but they do it totally different ways. Right? Yeah. So with Immanuel Quickley, you have Immanuel Quickley, Derrick Rose, Kemba Walker, Miles McBride, Rokas Jokibitis, right? Mm-hmm. All point guards, right? But they all do it different ways. Miles McBride is a facilitate, let the bucket getters get their own. I'm gonna lock down the other team's point guard. That's Miles McBride. Kemba Walker is the screen and roll maestro. Like you give him a screen, he's gonna shoot it, drop. I'm talking about historically in his prime.
Yeah.
In his prime, he's a pick and roll maestro, right?
Yeah.
Derrick Rose is the once in a generation athlete at point guard, right? Immanuel Quickley is the extension of the coach on the floor. That's what he's aspiring to be, and that's what he will get to if he stays on this path. What the coaching staff is looking to execute from the film room out on the floor, that's what he's looking to get to, right? And if for people that don't believe that, look at Immanuel Quickley's coach relationship with his head coach. Even when things are going to hell in a handbasket, he's like, "Hey, what you want now, coach?" You know what I'm saying? Some people and in my opinion, the Knicks need that Chauncey Billups style point guard for the personalities that they have. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Because you have to understand the personality of the team before you can captain that team. Part of being a leader of men is, and hey, Jay Boogie and y'all, hey, all of y'all understand this. Part of being a leader of men is understanding your men.
You're absolutely right.
You feel me? You got to understand. You got to understand your men, and you got to understand the goal that you're trying to achieve. Right? It's not just jumping on. I'm the man. We've been having too much of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I believe.
You can't. Say that one again, Freezy, man. Because that one hit hard, man.
Yeah, man. Big dog. Listen, big dog. You know, just going out and getting a big personality. It may work in some sense because the big personality takes the bullets from the guys that are developing, like the guys that are developing. Like say for instance, and say for instance, the Knicks go out and get a high profile, say a Damian Lillard or somebody. And I'm not saying this is the y'all chill. Don't go to Knicks fan TV and everybody. Hey, Uncle Freezy said trade for Damian Lillard. Nah, what I'm saying is say if the Knicks acquire Damian Lillard, what he does is he's out front like Captain America. taking all the bullets, while the other Avengers are behind him, grinding and doing stuff that's important too, right? But the thing with Immanuel Quickley is not going to be that Damian Lillard style player. He's the maestro, the conductor, the orchestrator. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying, when they run the play and Obi has missed 7 in a row from 3 in the corner, they not running quickly like, nah, we ain't running that, bro. You ain't got it today from there. You 0 for 7 from that spot, man. We run something different. Go back over. Let's, we going over here. And Obi be like, well, I just need a heat check. I need to go. Nah, we ain't gonna risk the game. We ain't gonna risk this game just so that you can feel comfortable with your shot falling. We need dudes like that. Like for instance, we up by 8, and the other team building momentum. We had a 20-point lead. Now we only up by 8, and Randle is still doing the ISO from the top of the key. Quickly, like, nah, bro, we can't afford our power forward to miss long 21-footers, so that the other team can get momentum going to the basket and cut the lead to 6. And now it's a 2-possession game where they can tie it up with 2 3-pointers. Quickly gonna be like, nah, no, we ain't gonna do that. What we'll do is run our offense, cycle through, look for the best shot. Everybody share the ball, and we'll get the best shot. And if it comes back to you and you miss, we can live with that, right? But we don't want to live with a come down ISO Randle 21-footer missed. He don't get the rebound. It's going the other way in transit. And hey Ray, you know where I brought that up from? You remember the Memphis Grizzlies game when we was in the Grizzlies game? And the Grizzlies took the momentum because we kept jacking up. We were doing ISO jacking up jumpers, and they would
much of that.
And they would get the long rebound, and Ja Morant would outrace the rest of the team. But it's not the rest of the team fault that they get outraced by Ja Morant, because Ja Morant can outrace everybody anyway. So it's not that. It's just we have to be smarter.
Right.
And so the point I'm getting at is and not to talk you out of death with the different types of point guards, because every point guard's not the same. Every team is not constructed the same.
Absolutely.
Every team's personality is not the same. Every mentality of the men, the mentality of the men is not going to be the same from team to team. So we can't just force a blueprint on the Knicks. We have to understand what we have and be the best version of ourselves.
Thank you.
But that's
You know something I was thinking about too, Freezer. You were talking, man. Go ahead, J Boogie.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want guys you want people to be able to do different things on the court. You don't want to have the same thing. In other words, like some people, like they say in life, you know what I'm saying, looking for something in common. No, I like things out of common because it makes a better conversation. If we in common, then we know and we talking about the same thing. We out of common, you talking about that, I'm giving you an answer. Then I'm talking about mine, you giving me an answer. You know what I'm saying? You want different players on your team that all do different things. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we have. Like we got one scenario right and one scenario wrong. We got one scenario right, even though Noel's a bum, you know what I'm saying? He ain't there. But him and Taj, they're 2 completely different players. You know what I'm saying? Both of them can finish around the basket. Noel when he catch the ball, but he can't stretch. Tom can stretch. But the in common thing that we have is with Mitch and Sims. They're the same players. I don't need both of them to be the same players, because you know what to expect from both of them from time to time throughout the whole complete game. I need something different. I just wanted to reflect on what Ray has said before. What are we leading into? Are we looking for the playoffs and all that? Whatever we're going to be looking forward to next season. I think the first scenario we need to do, to be a better ball player, you have to be a better person. We need to become a better person team again all over and build our culture all over again, because we lost out with our coaches this year. Our coaches took a hit with the things that Julius did. Now, we'd have came off and had a productive season coming off what we did to the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? That would have been great for our culture. You can line people up for 2023 ready to come here. But now after what happened, you know, a lot of people's like, oh, it's the same old Knicks doing the same old things, you know what I'm saying? So our culture took a hit this year. I look for us to rebuild and refurnish our culture. And then whatever comes along with that, we can live with that. But if the culture's good, that means the in-house is good. When the in-house is good, the players are good. And when the players are good, that brings W's, you know what I'm saying? And that gives us all on podcasts, you know what I'm saying, something to talk about, communicate about, you know what I'm saying? But we got to get back and build our culture coming off 2 years ago versus what we had last year.
And it's
Absolutely, aka
you got to let
chemistry.
Randle go.
AKA chemistry. And that when you were saying that, J Boogie, as soon as Freezy was talking about what he was saying earlier, all I thought about is that's what killed us this year, man. The chemistry was off from the word go. After them 6 games, man, it was a bunch of infighting. You got your star player slapping the hand away from one of his teammates. I ain't seen that in I don't know how long. You know what I mean? But he trying to calm you down. You know what I mean? So when I look at that, but you know, I was thinking back to all them losses we took, man, that we had them double-digit leads. And you know the main reason why we lost all them games? It come down to one main thing, man. And they need to have it on a chalkboard or on a cutout printout or something. And they need to put this up when they start seeing the team going off key. Do what you did to get the lead if you want to win. When you get them big leads, it's because you're playing the game the right way. Everybody touching the ball, you're making the right shots, you're making the right reads. But the minute you start, because you got that big lead, and you start jacking up shots because you're feeling good about your lead, 9 times out of 10 teams lose. And we've seen that picture, not just with the Knicks, but every team that blows a big lead, they blow it because they stopped doing what they were doing to get that lead in the beginning.
That's right.
I'm so glad that Jay Boogie brought up the point of culture, because part of that culture is the discipline, and you saw that discipline fall off in how many games where we were up and you're missing free throws and you're resorting or reverting back to plays that are not conducive to winning. And I'm just really glad Jay Boogie brought that up. Like, again, before you get to the, are we a playoff team, a play-in team, a lottery, you gotta rebuild this culture. You gotta fix it because it's broken, and it was broken, with all the moves that were made, and you got it's why it's so important. You have to have proper vets in here, not vets who are looking to play their own brand of basketball, but those who come into the culture understanding, okay, we need to help these young guys get to where they need to be. Not trying to be the man or whatnot and all this stuff, but players, they think what they think. They think they're always the man and they're going to do what they do. We need players who don't think like that. We need players who are going to contribute to winning. So I'm glad you brought that point up, Jay Boogie, because it's also one of the major reasons why we lost as many games as we did. We're bringing back silly nonsense and, can't figure things out, and the attitude of the team just felt different, to which even Uncle Freezy brought up at the beginning of the show with the points about Obi and IQ. Attitude and culture are everything, and those guys bring that. I'm not worried about Obi Toppin's development or IQ's development or RJ's development because of the mentality. I still got to find out what Cam wants and whatnot, but he's the biggest X factor to the entire equation, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. And Freezy said something earlier, man, that caught my attention too. We sitting here talking about the direction of this team. Man, when I look at this New York team, what I see, and it's funny because me and Rob the Nick was talking about it yesterday, man, and I told him, I was like, man, I said, you ain't gonna hear me say no more that the front office ain't on the same page of music with the coach. I'm not saying that no more. Because I think but what Leon Rose, that interview is choreographed and scripted as that interview was. He said a lot of stuff. And one of the things that caught my attention the most, we got 9 young players on this team.
Right.
That's your direction. You got more young players than you have veterans on this team. Out of them 15 roster spots, if they're still doing 15, I remember they had it up for that COVID situation. But traditionally, 15-man roster, you got 9 young players. That's your direction. You're a young team. So what that translates to me is that the coach went rogue. The coach went rogue to what Freezy said earlier about why we're down 20 and Derrick Rose still playing 30 minutes and all these different veterans that was playing all these ton of minutes when we were clearly out of games. You got this many young players not playing minutes. So that really is what caught my attention too, man. When I really thought of that thing, I said, you ain't gonna hear me say no more that Leon Rose and the front office ain't on the same sheet of music with Tibbs. For now on, y'all gonna hear me directed where it needs to be. Yeah, Leon Rose gets some blame, and I ain't letting him off the hook neither. So don't nobody run with that. I'm not letting Leon Rose off the hook because he got to do better. But it ultimately comes to the coach when you got them groceries. You got to cook that thing the right way, man. Like Jay Boogie said earlier, you can't manage everybody the same way.
True.
What works for one player don't work for the other.
I'm as a fan, and I'm pretty sure you guys will agree with this. I'm kind of tired of the pointing the finger and like again, as Uncle Freezy said, we have all off season. Like at this stage, who cares? We lost. We're not there to point the finger and the blame. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. We can identify what the problems are, but it kind of feels like overkill now. We know that Tibbs has an inability to evolve. We know that, Leon Rose is who Leon Rose is and the disingenuousness that exists there. We know that Randle needs to be off the team. Objectively, we just got to ask ourselves the questions, not what we want or what we think will happen, but what do they want and what do we think they will do? And I don't know. I don't know if we're a playoff team. There are 9 teams ahead of us in the Eastern Local Conference. Like, what move are you gonna make that's gonna improve this team? Through the draft of whatnot. Is that a Jalen Brunson? Is that a Donovan Mitchell? Is that a Dame Lillard? I just don't know. But in a loaded Eastern Conference, I don't know. We got more questions than answers, in my opinion.
Yeah, hey, that's the thing. We got so many questions, man. It's so many questions, man. This offseason gonna be real fun to watch, man. And back to something when I heard y'all talking earlier, Freezy, when you brought up, about Obi. When I look at with Obi and Tibbs, see the beautiful things is once the players show you what they can do, you can't go backwards unless they're stinking the joint up. But once they start to show promise, you got to put them out on the court. And right now, there's no way, even with IQ, there's no way coming into the season that Tibbs could justify going back to playing them guys the way he was playing them. There's no way. That's the beautiful thing. I'm glad they broke up because that frustration level now for me gonna come down a whole lot because I know next season, whether or not he want to or not, he's gonna have to play them guys because them guys just showed you what they can do.
Right.
If we want to be a playoff team next year, we need a playoff player. If we want to be a play-in team, we need an ascending star. So like an SGA. If we want to be a lottery team, then just stand pat, collect your assets, continue the asset management route, and work towards a draft. But if we're realistically going to figure out what we are next year, we kind of need to do it now.
So I think so, Ray. So here's the thing, right? And predicting outcomes and things of that sort, we generally like to look to the past to look at developing patterns, right? What if like horse racing, like I remember we used to go to the track. We like, well, this horse right here ain't never won a race. He probably do, but this horse right here done won 5 out of the last 6. So am I gonna bet on the horse that's ready to break out, or bet on the horse that has been winning, that is hot right now? If it's my light bill money, then I'm betting on the horse that has won 5 out of 6. You know what I'm saying? If it's my retirement money and I can get a bigger payday, then I'll bet on the horse that's ready to break out because he the underdog, so to speak. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm getting at is this, right? In a scenario like the one that we have, we notice, and just bear with me, right? We noticed that in RJ Barrett's second year, he broke out after the All-Star break, right? Remember, RJ Barrett got red hot last year after the All-Star break, right? And I say last year, I should say 2 years ago, since this season is over already. All right. So after the All-Star break this year, Obi Toppin and Immanuel Quickley broke out. right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm projecting and forecasting is that the rookies from this season will break out next year after the All-Star break. And I'm talking about Grimes, McBride,
Jericho Sims.
Sims. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Because under this regime, second-year players seem to break out after the All-Star break. It's happened 2 years in a row. I'm not gonna bet my retirement money on it, right? But what I will do is say keep an eye on that, right? Keep an eye, because what happens is some franchises get rookies and they break out right away. And then other franchises take time to develop guys, and then you see a pattern start to develop. Like, okay, they might not do much their rookie year, but towards the end of their second year, they become something, right? And so what I'm saying is this: I'm not betting Ray's Porsche on this, right? But what I will say is keep an eye out on McBride and Grimes and Sims next year after the All-Star break. If we have a certain level of consistency in place, like if Tibbs is still here, Rose is still here, the coaching staff in place, the roster be the same. And now with that said, expect the Knicks to add another young piece or two this offseason, but also expect a couple of players not to be here, a couple of veterans, right? I think Randle is one. I think Nerlens Noel is one, right? That's a lot of salary. That's about $36 million. Who do you replace $36 million with, or $35 million? It depends on how much Noel makes, because Randall's going to make about 26 and some change, which is not really that much. You know what I'm saying, in the grand scheme of things. But it depends on how much Nerlens Noel makes based on injury incentives and things that, you know, blah, whatever. Right. So with that said, if the Knicks get a quality impact player this year in this year's draft, say for instance, the Knicks get Jaden Ivey, right? And he comes off the bench and he struggles some, but you see talent there. In 2023, in his second season, you can expect him to make the leap based on past trends that we've seen with this regime. Because what we want to do is we want to look at the track record of this regime. We don't want to compare them to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because if you compare them to the Oklahoma City Thunder, like, oh man, the Thunder, they draft impact rookies right away. Well, we're not them, and they are not us, right? But what we can say is R.J. Barrett in the second half of last 2 seasons ago was a monster, right? And now you see, and I know this might seem like recency bias, but Immanuel Quickley and Obi Toppin look like quality NBA players right now after the All-Star. Because before this, before they broke out, we were like, man, I don't know. Quickley at point guard, I don't know. Quickley don't look like a point guard. Remember that? Remember the previous 30 games? I don't know if Quickley looked like a. And then we were saying about Obi. Like, I said it myself. I was like, yo, Obi Toppin looks like a dunk contest participant. That's it.
And I remember saying myself, I said I didn't want him participating in that dunk contest because I didn't want them to label him with that title.
Right.
That was my thing. I didn't want them to do that to him.
But both of them started balling and changed the narrative. Right? Both of them did it. We didn't change the narrative because they did the same thing. They forced us to talk about them differently, about stepping their game up. Right. So credit to them.
Say that again.
Yeah. I'm giving credit to Ron. I'm giving credit to them for stepping their game up. And so what I'm saying is the trend might be around this time next season, we might be saying the same thing about Miles McBride. We might be saying the same thing about Quentin Grimes. We might be saying the same thing about Jericho Sims. So with that said, I just wanted to mention, like, let's look at the front office and the coaching staff for what they're doing. I still feel like there are some some blind spots. Like I still feel like we still should have made the play in. I still feel like today we should have been repping our city, getting ready for game 3 in the Garden. If they would have went out and got a veteran point guard, not a household. You don't need a household name because a lot of those games we lost were close games. A lot of these games we lost, like the Minnesota game, man. When I had COVID, remember I had COVID and I was missing time on the joint. The Minnesota game, we could have won that game. Minnesota looked so tired. They looked like they were trying to give us the game.
Not to mention, Freezy, think about all them games we blew. If we'd have won just maybe half of them, you know what I mean? We'd be having a different tune. How many games we won last year? Was it 41?
We were only 6 games away from the play-in. 6 games.
Right.
If you go back and look over how many games we could have won, it was more like 8 or 9.
Yeah, all them giveaways.
I counted 14 games that the Knicks that the Knicks were up by 10, right? And all they had to do was have a game manager. And I know people hate the term game manager. When they hear game manager, they think Phil Simms or Chad Pennington. You know, I keep bringing up the Giants. The Giants don't know nothing about quarterback. So
I love a game manager. I love a game manager. You know why? Because I know you're going to value the basketball. You're going to value possessions. You're going to do what it needs to do to win the game.
Right.
I love that phrase. Give me a game manager any day. Give me one.
Right. And just real quick, I'm going to just say this real quick. I'll get out of the way. Right. A game manager on 3rd down and 6, he got the slant. He might have the slant to his receiver. Right. But he know if he throw that ball and you know, it's an incomplete pass that they're going to stop the clock. The defense going to get the ball back on 4th and 6. I mean, we're going to have to punt on 4th and 6 with a stop play clock, right? So what he does is he sees 5 people in the box and a fast running back. So he just audible to his running back. He like, let me get this ball. Let me get this football to Rodney Hampton up the middle and let me see if he can get these 6, right? And Rodney Hampton get 5, right? He get 5 and he 1 yard short. And people are like, oh, man, why he ran the football right there when we needed 6 and he got 5? Guess what? The game clock is still running. Now the other team got to call a timeout, right? It's about how you manage the game. Because if he threw that pass and he would have caught it, he wasn't guaranteed to get 6 either. You know what I'm saying? So all these things you got to take into account, like how you manage the game. Like the game in Portland, we didn't manage the game well in Portland because we didn't have a veteran on the floor to say, hey, everybody settle down. They're going on a run. All we have to do is let them score, not let them score, right? But you know what I'm saying? Just take their blows, right? It's like Ali and Ken Norton. Ken Norton was rocking Muhammad Ali, right? And then Ali was like, just take these blows, just weather the storm, a better one, George Foreman. Ali was like, just weather the storm, the old rope-a-dope. Just weather the storm, man. Just let him punch himself out. And then all I got to do is tat him up, and then I can win this thing and go party. And I think the Knicks were missing that type of guy. Like, just a guy like, okay, they're going on their run. Y'all calm down. Don't get nervous. Continue to play good defense. And what we'll do is these wild threes that they're hitting. You remember Anthony Simons hit the step back over Quickley? You like, how did he hit that shot?
Mm-hmm.
Those are 1 in 1,000 shots, right? If they 1 in 1,000, let them keep taking them because 999 other times he gonna miss. That's what I'm getting at. I think the front office should have just got a veteran point guard to come in here and just help steady the ship because you know Kemba wasn't coming back, you know Rose wasn't coming back, and you know Alec Burks is not a point guard. Alec Burks was not the answer, and them playing Alec Burks at point, in my opinion,
that's killed the season. Yeah, that killed the season. Hey, Freezy.
I do know one thing. This office is on bright light alerts. I got these high beams directed at this office, and this is what the office cannot do. We cannot go into the Obi Toppin draft all over again. What I mean is when Julius had that bad season, his first season, they was in mind frame to get rid of Julius. That's why they drafted Obi. Okay? So now we skip 1 year over. Julius has had another bad season again. Cannot have Julius here and draft Obi Toppin again. Cannot do that same scenario. about 3 years. You're gonna have to move on from Julius before you draft Obi Toppin again this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's obviously got to make that right. When you say about questions, you can't ask no questions about the team without answering the questions for that team. Whatever thing they plan on doing, make sure you finish that first before you trying to start going to do different things. Complete one scenario first, then move on. You know what I'm saying? I want to do things in reverse this year.
Right.
I want to find out what we don't need to do this year and then work our way backwards.
Right.
I don't want to find out, try to figure out what we need to do and start building on top of that and then forget about the things that can just hinder everything that we're doing. Find out what we don't need to do. We know we don't need to bring Julius back. We know we don't need to go into the season without a solid point situation. We know we can't go into the season, Tom, you not be willing to play the young guys. Start from those things, and then everything else will fall right in its place instead of starting the other way and not allowing those things to take its place. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to jump up out of here. I know AD got something to say. I'm going to get on with the rest of my birthday. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to rock with y'all, man. I rock with y'all to the fullest. Have a blessed day, man. God bless you all in the chat and everything. Everybody continue staying healthy and safe. You know what I'm saying? For y'all. Thanks for having me on, sharing my 5th birthday with
Happy
y'all.
birthday, bro.
I
Happy birthday.
appreciate
Yeah,
that,
man.
man. I appreciate that, man.
Congrats, Boogie, man. A lot of people ain't make it that far, boy.
You're right. You're right.
People ain't make it that far.
That's right. That's right. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed for that. If I never receive another blessing today, I know I've been blessings for all them days that got me here. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at, man. And besides that, everybody send me $200 cash, yeah. I'll hold it till you need it back. I'll hold it. I know you did all your taxes.
Big bang.
All y'all dudes got all y'all money back. See, y'all won't get them checks and stuff. Y'all dudes got all y'all money back this year. Hey, God bless y'all, man. Y'all have a great afternoon.
All right, Boogie. Yeah, man. Hey, oh, man, shout out to Moneybag, man. Hey, Moneybag said Ron like game manager, but he don't like Brunson. Freezy. Have y'all ever heard me say I don't like Brunson?
I don't think so.
But yeah, I've heard you say it's not a fit. And that's okay.
Right. It's about attention to detail, man. People hear what they want to hear, man, and make narratives. I never said I didn't like Brunson. Never said that.
It's okay. Listen,
I said I wouldn't sign it because I know right now what I see in IQ. Better go back and watch the tape, Moneybag. Find out why I said what I said. Don't create a narrative. I never said I didn't like Brunson.
Right.
Listen, this is a platform where it's open for interpretation. So you're gonna get naysayers, you're gonna get haters, you're gonna get people who disagree. The idea is just to come back with a reasonable, sound, coherent argument, and go from there.
Yeah, but we would like to, as adults, though, what we want to do is make sure if we're gonna quote somebody, make sure we quote them right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't smashing nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't smashing nobody because I don't want you to be on nothing but Knicks like, yo, Uncle Freezy be smashing the people that be supporting.
And shout out to Moneybag, man. Shout out to Moneybag.
Yeah. So, hey, so Eddie C, what's good? Soulfinger, what's good, man? It's good to see y'all, man. Seems like I ain't seen y'all in a minute.
What's good, fellas? Yeah, I was sitting there, I'm still on the grind like that one-legged man in the butt kicking contest right now. But hey,
what's up, Figure?
But you can, I was just listening to what you were saying, and speaking of the team, speaking of the team and everything, just let things fall the way it's going to fall. The front office, they got to make the right moves. And I got to, the whole thing with the don't draft Obi, like Boogie was saying, we don't need that situation again. Truth be told, this may unpopular as it's going to seem for some, and whatever, crucify me, kill me, whatever, curse me with your voodoo curse or whatever it is. But Randle's not going anywhere for all those, a lot of folk that want Randle gone. It's not just going to happen like that, man. It's just not going to just, you can't wave a magic wand and make them disappear. for those that hate him. You know, you got to look at what we have on
Somebody's
this
gonna
team.
have to fall in love with Randle in order to accept a player like Randle, who's gonna be about 23% of the 24% of their salary cap for one
Yeah.
player. Somebody got to fall in love with Randle in order to trade for him.
Yeah, and that's going to be the problem. That's the lick right there, Freeze. You got to fall in love with him because there are going to be organizations looking at all the antics that happened over the season, the slapping of the computer, the you know, they can bring up the body language and all that. The numbers don't lie.
The ejection in the Phoenix game when he was cooking.
And then the other thing
we could have won that Phoenix game.
Yeah, we could have won that. And then the other thing, you can look at the fines. Look at the fines and how he was interacting with the media. So those are things that can hold against him. Can you move him? There's somebody that'll take him. Like I said, you know, like, hey, there's many situations they'll take this man if they want him. But the problem's going to be you're going to have to dress him up to move him. And then, too, you never know. It bounced back. So, you know, we don't know what tomorrow holds, but that front office definitely needs to get together and look at what you have. There are some players, you're right, Freeze, there will be gone. I know Kemba should be one, definitely, most definitely, in his point guard situation. I just don't want the front office to go star chasing and we give up more than what we get back in return. There's other needs, you know, other situations we got to address. You know, we got the situation with Mitch. Is he going? Is he staying? Because, you know, you have some on one hand say let Mitch go. You got others on the other hand say we need to keep Mitch. Nerlens Noel played, 27, 28 games for the season. It's almost, you know, it feels like he was stealing money for whatever reason.
The mystery injury.
Yeah. Is, you know, the injuries and everything. He was injured before, and he had a decent season. Even though last season, he wasn't injured much because he played a pivotal role with us getting to the playoffs because we were out Mitch. And even in the playoffs, Capella was giving him the business, but he was playing hurt, and I give him that. I thought personally that he was going to be gone. He played himself out of New York. They brought him back. Hey, but now that contract, it was a 3-year with a third year a team option, correct?
For Randle?
For Nerlens.
Yeah, that third year. I believe the third year is a team option.
So
I think you're right.
So basically, that's like 1 year.
That's an expiring contract right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His contract, Burke's contract, those are attractive pieces for a team that you can trade him, that you can get something for him because of those contracts are expiring. That's a team option. So if we don't make a move during the draft as we run, we call it business season. We didn't call it off season, the business season. You could definitely see something happening before the trade deadline if those two cats are still on this squad, because those contracts are money. Because people want to get that and relieve some cap, and we can get something back. But again, the front office is going to have to make the moves because when it came to drafting, they did all right. It's just my problem where I'm sketchy with them is when it comes to free agency. And then another, just one more point, and I'll get out of the way because I know Eddie. And shout out to Eddie because I like to hear what Eddie his takes and stuff. Eddie bring out some fire. Cam, we haven't been talking about Cam. Cam Reddish is the elephant in the room. If you haven't really looked at it,
Exactly.
He's the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about the elephant in the room in a bad way because Cam has a lot to bring to this team. You got to make a way to get this man on the court. You got to give this man an opportunity to be able to do something. We have a log jam. So, again, I'm going to say something else out of it that's not, because with Evan Fournier, yeah, he did what he did. He broke the record. Cool. He got better. He got better as the season went on. But he holds that man right there blocks a lot of players in a sense. We need to figure out what we're going to do. I'm all for building with the young core because, you got a 6'8" small forward that can play a 3 or a 4. You could possibly put him into 2 in a certain situation. Just depends on the situation. Matchup nightmare. He just needs time to play. Cam has a lot of potential, very athletic, and an ability to do more. And I get it. We didn't have the position or the place for him and it was crazy to trade him for a player we weren't even using. Kevin Knox was just making Gatorade for everybody on the bench that were coming back to the bench. No knock on Knox.
No pun intended.
You know, no pun intended. You know, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But I like the young fellas we have. We got to use them more. He's using them playing, and I'm glad that things happen the way they happen, because in a lot of ways, and because Tibbs exposed himself in some ways that the guy, it was a perfect storm, because in some aspects they weren't totally ready, but then we had guys that needed to be out there over others. It's no way Stephen Wonder, Ray Charles could see that Alex Burks was not the best situation to run that point. Also, we can't just always just beat up Tibbs on that, because we lost games on account of free throws. And I said that was the first thing I said beginning of the season when we played Boston. We should have never gone into overtime. It's an exciting game, but you got to hit that free money.
Well, Kemba Walker did make those 2 bad turnovers late in that Boston game, though.
Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. I can't take that away.
Egregious.
I can't take that away. But then throughout the season, free throws. How many games did we lose on account of free throws? RJ, I like RJ, but come on, man. We know RJ, when it comes to that free throw line, everybody's sitting up there tense. They tight. You know, hey, it's like on Maury when them cats are reading off those results to find out if they are the father or 18-month Jumangelo, and you sitting up there sweating. It shouldn't be that serious.
Right. No doubt.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I'm just saying. But for the most part, man, look, I'm gonna be, you know, this was a emotional season for all Knicks Nation, and it was so much so just to see how people were turning on each other over certain players. So, but again, we need to look at this young core, and certain people do need to go. It's just and Tibbs gonna have to modernize himself. And granted, I know I'm asking a lot for that. I stand a better chance in the snowstorm and a tank top than ask for Tibbs to do a lot of change. So with that, I'm just gonna step out of the way. Salute to the Queen. Salute to the chat. Appreciate it.
All right,
everybody.
Soul Figure.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, so hey, Steph, how you doing?
I'm good. I've been listening to you guys for, I don't know, over an hour or so. Loving the conversation. Ron Cleveland, Rayology.
What's
I need
going
you
on,
on Twitter.
Steph?
You got to be on Queen's Court. Ron Cleveland, Uncle Freezy, you haven't been on Soulfing. I've been trying to get in contact with you. I mean, come on. I need some love on the Queen's Court.
Oh, no doubt.
I gotta apologize to you. Apologize to you, Queen. I've been so busy that I haven't even been with Freezy. But I will definitely call some time out right now. My daughter's got a spring league. The team got a spring league going, so I'm with that. So it's
okay.
But I got your number. I'm gonna reach out to you so we can get together, because I appreciate the honor for you opening the doors for me to come on, and
Absolutely.
I will be there.
And Steph, I definitely will be making my way sometime in May. I got Soul Finger know what I got going on right now, so it's something major that I'm doing right now that's taking up my time in them evening times that I got to stay focused. But after May 1st, after my son's birthday, I'm gonna be open to come on your show.
Okay.
Right. And then plus, I would definitely run. And my thing is the schedule is crazy.
I know.
But I'm also super selective. So I like to get into those conversations with people that are balanced and gonna think things through. And I watch the Queen Court actually on lunchtime, like on my breaks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I watch, and I'm a huge fan. I think you do great work of not only
excellent take.
not only having great conversations, but making sure people stay in the moment. Like because what happens is when you ask a question, people, to quote a PM Dawn song, they set adrift on memory bliss. Right? Like you ask them a legit question, and before you know it, this is what it sounds like when doves cry. Right? You know what I'm saying? So you like, can you just stay? Can y'all just stay? So you do an excellent job at that. I don't.
Appreciate that.
I don't. I'll admit that I'm sometimes I'm a poor moderator when it comes to that, because sometimes I get into the entertainment part more so than the quality of the content. Sometimes I just like to laugh. You know what I'm saying? So, but you do a great job at with the Queen's Court and the crossover, by the way, because I catch the crossover too, man. I think y'all do a great job. But listen, but I want to ask you. So what's the deal with you and Obi?
Well, I want to preface this by saying I want y'all to still love me after my takes, even if it's a little different than what y'all was talking about.
Right.
I just want to make sure it's still going to be all love. That's
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
Listen, I've always said, even before Obi had this breakout the last week or two of the season, I've always said he was more than a rim runner. Now, last year I killed him. I'm not going to lie. Last year I killed him. I thought he should have been further along with his age. I felt like he was a 20-something-year-old on a developmental trajectory of a 19 or 18-year-old when I saw him last year, and I had problems with that. I expected him to be more NBA ready. This year, though, I was on record as saying that he was more than a rim runner, because even prior to the breakout, I saw him post up. He looked a little stronger. His three-point shooting was worse this year than last year, early in the season, but I knew he had it. And I've seen him put the ball on the floor a few times and go into the lane. So I said, I think he's going to be more than a rim runner. It's just going to take him time to develop his game. He broke out at the end of the season. And I just want to tell you a little something about my personality. I'm not somebody that gets very excited over small sample sizes. If you remember, even Randle, when he had that elite season he had last year, I said, I need to see him in the playoffs before we start talking money. Then when he bombed in the playoffs, I said, I don't care what Randle does next season, meaning this season, I'm going to need to see him in the playoffs again and perform before I say he's a number one. That's just me. So I'm not getting super excited about Obi's. Well, let me put it this way. I saw some things in that game that confirmed what I was thinking. Because no matter what the competition is, if you could shoot a three-pointer, you could shoot a three-pointer. If you could put the ball on the floor and go to the hole, that doesn't matter who it is. You have the skill to do that. And I saw that in Obi. I think the issue I'm having with the fan base is we're taking this small sample size, and now, just based on this, Obi is ready to start in this league and produce game in and game out against starters. I've seen somebody in the chat say Obi was the face of the franchise. I've seen somebody in the chat say he's a better offensive player than not this chat, I mean various chats. He's a better offensive player than Randle. All I'm saying is let him marinate. Let him continue to develop. We underestimate what it takes to be successful in this league, game in and game out, to continue to produce. It's hard. Now, if you're telling me we have a strong 1, 2, 3, and 5 player, and Obi is not going to be counted on game in and game out to produce at a high level, absolutely he can start. Absolutely, he can start. You're not asking him to drive the team. You're asking him to just play his role. Yes, he can start on a team like that. If we're not talking about the playoffs and we're trying to be Detroit, Orlando, OKC, he can start on a team like that. If you make the playoffs, great. If you don't, it doesn't matter because we're trying to develop. And thank you, Rayology, for coming back on, because you made a great point in the chat. What are we trying to do next season? That changes everything. If you're trying to be a playoff team, you cannot tell me you're going to swap out Randle for Obi, not bring in a point guard, start IQ, and we're going to unseed one of them 7 through 10 teams. Cleveland, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Atlanta. It's not going to happen. However, if you're just talking about We're gonna develop our young players. Forget about the playoffs. Let's just grow this slowly. We're not worrying about getting into the playoffs. I'm okay with that.
And that's where I'm at.
Start Obi, start IQ, start Cam, start all of the young guys if that's what you're trying to do. For me, and I think I'm older than everybody in here, I'm tired of lose. I'm just tired. I want the Knicks to put a winning product on the floor, but responsibly. I don't want you going out trading all of the young guys and bringing in somebody 35.
Because
That's not
that's
what I'm
what's
talking
that.
about.
Because what's
Huh?
that?
Say it
Steph?
again, Queen.
What is
Say it
that?
again.
What is that if we do that? What you just said. You didn't
Yeah.
see that motion picture.
Yeah,
Many
no,
times,
that's
right?
not what I'm talking about. But a lot of the fan base will say, if you're trying to trade any of our young players for even another young player who's been in the league a little long and has produced, we've always doing this. We always shooting for the fences. We always busting up the If you trade for Donovan Mitchell who's 25, that's not busting up a rebuild.
Right.
If you're trading for, he's not available, but a Brandon Ingram who's been in the league a few years, still young, and has produced season in and season out, that's not breaking up a rebuild. If you trade for LeBron James, yes, that is big.
That's
You
crazy.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Rayology, I appreciate you because that's what I've
Yeah.
been saying forever.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
depends on you trying to go to the lottery, you trying to go
Yep.
to the play-in, you trying to be a championship contender. You could do
Yep.
that in one season if you get the right players. That's gonna tell the decisions we make. For me personally,
Yeah.
I
Same.
want the team to be a playoff team every year, starting next year. I know that might be a bit too fast for some people. That's what I want. And if the Knicks can go out and get another young player that can make that happen, I'm good. I'm for it.
Okay.
Well, I tell you, Steph, for me, you know, I'm probably just as old as most of the people on here. You know, I've watched this regime, other regime, the same thing. I don't want to see us chasing after players neither. I don't want to see that. I have never seen since Patrick Ewing left this team. I have never seen them do a rebuild the proper way. And right now, even making the playoffs, what seed are you going to be? What I'm looking at with this team, I would rather us continue on this path with these young players. And if something presents itself where, hey, is a can't do move where you have to make the move, like with the name you just brought up, Donovan Mitchell, but I ain't chasing. You see what I'm saying? We chase too much as an organization. I'm tired of being in the chase mode. Just continue to do what you do. And people talk about that small market mentality. They need to get out of that. Talking about small market. What OKC does is they build a team the right way. You don't go chasing. Right now, the New York Knicks took a major step back after last season. We are in full rebuild mode. Ain't no retooling. We don't know what our identity is. And Ray just brought it up about what are we going to be? A playoff team? What are we trying to be? That tells you clearly we don't have an identity yet. We don't know if we're a defensive team, we're an offensive team. We don't have no identity. So we're still basically in the early beginnings of a rebuild. And because of that, I'm not going to ship out a bunch of young players and then bring a guy in because I'm going to tell you like this. Everybody talking about Brunson. Last year when we was talking about Van Vliet, a lot of people didn't want Van Vliet, and they are very similar. A lot of people didn't want Van Vliet. The time for Van Vliet or Brunson would have been after we made that 4 seed coming into this season. But now that's why I made my position on that. I ain't saying I don't like Brunson. It's the timing of where this Knicks team is at. You go get a Brunson, how much better is this team going to be? Are you going to make the playoffs with Brunson? Something to think
Depends.
about.
You make a good. Can I just ask one other question to Ron?
Mhm.
Ron, even if we go with the young players, when it's time to make the playoffs, you're not gonna develop these young players and go from not making the playoffs to the 4th seed. even with the young players, you'll probably go to the play-in and move up. It's going to be the same whether you do it with this group or whether you do it with young players. Year after year, you get better, better, better. You know, because I hear people saying, "Oh, what's the sense? You're just going to be a playoff team." Well, even with the young players, it's going to be at some point we'll be good enough to make the play-in and then the playoff. You understand what the point I'm trying to
Yeah,
make?
I
Even
get
with the young players, you're not going to jump right into the 4th seed. It's still going to be incremental.
Yeah, we got more questions and answers. That's for sure.
That is that is for sure.
And I just want to say something. With all due respect, Ron, there's one difference between Van Fleet and Brunson at this point, because I was a Van Fleet believer, but the difference is that there's an inkling, and the reason why the organization went over there to Dallas is that Brunson wants to be here, right? We didn't have that inkling with Van Vliet. Van Vliet, there was kind of a note throughout the league that he wanted to stay in Toronto. You know, there was talk about his children, there was talk about this and that. With Brunson now, there's talk that he does want to be a New York Knick. So that's a huge difference when somebody wants to be in your organization and you want to bring them in. You know, there's mutual interest between both parties.
I'm talking about the skill set. I ain't talking about whether or not you want to be here. Plenty wanted to be here and came and flame.
Hey, Eddie C, let me.
Yeah, we getting some feedback.
Yeah, we're getting some real bad feedback.
Eddie.
Yeah. But Ron, you're right. Timing is everything. If we're going young, Brunson doesn't fit. If you're going young, then there's no need to bring in Brunson. But we also have to think about Dolan and the season subscription holders and whether they're okay with a rebuild. As fans, we may be, but are they okay? Remember, the front office was on record as saying they were disappointed that we didn't make the playoffs. They thought we would make another step. We didn't. They flew out to Dallas. That doesn't sound like a front office that's going to stay pat and run this team back or trade off
I'm
vets.
definitely in agreement with that. I believe that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to make a move. And just for the simple fact of what you just said, after going from the 4th seed to being out of the playoffs and all the dissension and turmoil this year, they can't afford not to make the playoffs. That's the one thing I know. If they don't make the playoffs, I think this front office and tips is gone.
You know, one thing though, because of what happened this season, we don't need them to go in desperation mode.
That's
true.
That's true.
And because of that,
but you got to improve, but not get desperate. You're right.
There you go.
Right.
You do have to improve.
Right.
And you said something earlier, Queen, that I wanted to touch on or follow up on or give you your props is when you saying we see it's like that old, for those I'm dating myself Digital Underground, they had a track, same song, right? I don't remember that. All around the world, same song. All around Knicks Nation, same song. What I mean by that is this. We've seen that, we've heard that song. This is like Fast and the Furious. They got Fast and the Furious 88. How many Fast and the Furious you gonna be doing with all the cars and all that they keep doing? What I mean by that again is you bringing in an old player to get rid of young players to say, "Ooh, look what I got." Right. Ooh, we did this. We got a name. No, we don't need a name. Man, we got young play. We got some young talent. You just gotta bring it the right way.
So, what about this though? This is the one thing that I speak to Knicks fans about, and I think it's very important for us to look at this. If you bring in an older player with the expectation that this older player is not here to be the franchise player, but to be the person out front taking the bullets, so to speak, the person to be a team leader, like, because the team leader don't necessarily have to be the best player.
True.
Right. Yep. But if you bring in somebody to be the team leader, knowing that the puppies, no pun intended, are you know what I'm saying, the most important aspect of this team, I think can only benefit the young core. Because what happens is, and Knicks fans are notorious for being patient, right? What happens is what happens is when you do the slow rebuild, right? Some of these kids are not gonna make it because some of these kids are not gonna be the kid that you thought you were getting when you drafted them, and then like some are not gonna meet expectations, and some are gonna thrive and exceed expectations, but you don't know who and when. Hold on, yeah, Benny.
Yeah.
Benny trying to give me a necktie. Hold on, yeah, I'll be right back.
I mean, I hear what Freeze is saying. We definitely need a veteran, but I'm not sure. But what I'm saying is, don't go. You know, you got this vet that we already know he on his last leg. Not even on his last leg. He on a toenail, and we give up some good assets and everything to say, look what we did. We gave you blah blah blah, and we're like, man, this cat is on life support. He barely got a credit card leak.
Right. But I think this front office is past that, though. I don't.
Yeah, they haven't done that. They haven't done that in the past 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying,
try to name me one that we've given up assets for. That's like you said, on his last toenail. We haven't done that. Like we've signed certain players.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Which one?
Derrick Rose.
Oh, very good.
But
very
what
good
was that?
one.
I mean, that asset was literally a second-round draft pick who nobody talks about, and Dennis Smith Jr., who's not in the league.
Yeah, but my point was go out and get a guy that is not going to be your franchise player, but be a team leader. That was the point that I was making.
And I think Brunson is that guy. I think Brunson is that guy. It's just the thing. I think that the thing that's misleading, not in my point of view, because I have a different point of view. Like, the Queen took all of the points, just took all of my points right out of my mouth.
Not you, I didn't leave no meat on the bone.
No, you leave no meat on the bone.
She didn't leave
Yeah,
man. Like, she
dump
didn't
that
leave
joke
no
in some
meat on
water
the
and let
bone.
it boil.
I was like,
if you grew up in a big family, you better
you gotta eat that. Yeah.
Hey, no, what you do is dump that joke in the boil in a pot. that bone in the pot, let it boil and get that flavor off that joke.
I'm over here having internet problems, and she just went off, and didn't leave nothing on the plate. But I mean, I echo every single thing that you said. Going back to the Brunson situation, I think that, like New York Knickerbockers, he's not flashy enough. You know what I'm saying? He's not flashy enough. So what's the difference between, I'm going to put this scenario, Cam Reddish, right? He's a young player. He's athletic. He's long. He's flashy. We gave up a first-round draft pick and Kevin Knox for him. And everybody is so happy with that trade, right? Everybody is just like ecstatic for the Cam Reddish trade. Basically what has Cam Reddish done in this league?
But it wasn't. But
I say that to say I compare him to what we can do with Brunson and what he's doing now in the playoffs.
But what I'm saying, but Eddie C, we didn't give up a first. We swapped picks. We gave them a first and they gave us a second. So we pick swapped. So we pick swapped in that deal, and we took on Solomon Hill's bad contract for that. People forget.
I didn't know that we got a. When did we get a second round pick in that? I thought it was the Charlotte Hornets first round pick, which didn't concrete this year, right? Because they fell below 6. The lot, they're in the lottery, so they're not going to get the pick. And Kevin Knox for Cam Reddish. I believe that was the trade.
And we got Solomon Hill to dump.
Yeah, we got Solomon Hill and a second round pick in 2024.
Oh, we got a second round pick in 2024. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah. So it's not as simple as Knox in a first for Cam Reddish. It's not that.
Yeah. And my thing about it, I wanted us to get Cam Reddish when his last season, because he was out there before the trade deadline. I was like, hey, make a move, get Cam Reddish. Because that's the small forward we can possibly use. And I was looking at the athletic ability. I didn't even think about the fact that he and RJ were together in college. I wasn't looking at that. I was just looking at what he could do and what he could bring to the team. Because I'm not in it. I'm more or less, you can be flashy, but if you flashy without substance, I don't want you. I'd rather you come out there and be a boring player, but come out with some substance. Bring more than just flash and dash. What can you do to facilitate winning? What can you do to facilitate and improve the culture? What can you do in the locker room? That's the kind of guy I want. And with him on a younger team like this, and we needed a small forward to bring more, because he was more ready than Kevin Knox. And not to beat up on Knox. Knox just wasn't ready to come out. He should never been drafted out as he was.
Came out too soon.
He came out too soon. We got to bring. Hey, Fizdale's the one because they went off one basket. They said he outplayed everybody. He gave. I wish I would have been able to see that because looking at the Bridges, those Bridges boys, I can't. Them Bridges cats, I really can't see that. So Fizdale must have been high, drunk, insane on dog food and dust when they were out there going.
It was that Kentucky connection.
Yeah, you notice Fizdale went to the Lakers, and you see what happened.
It was that Kentucky connection.
Exactly. And like I said, it's the curse of Fizz, man.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
What's up, CWC?
What up?
For 10 minutes. What's good? What's up, Queen? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, chilling.
Awesome.
All right. I know a lot of people don't want Brunson, but you need Brunson as our point guard for next season. The reason for that, IQ. I don't think IQ play against enough elite point guards in the league, like starting point guard. I think IQ is good from off the bench for firepower. If you bring Brunson here and still keep Mitch, that's a nice dude. And you still have RJ. You know what I mean? We might have to give up Randle, but anyway, Randle could go. We still got Toppin. So we'll be straight. You know what I mean? We just have to get rid of I would get rid of Derrick Rose, Noel.
I agree.
I would keep Gibson.
Yeah.
To help the other centers out, to help Jericho Sims out, and things like that. So, and plus we got 2 picks in the draft, so we could get something out of there. You know what I mean?
I tell you, CWC, for me, and I'm gonna go back to this because me and Rob the Nick actually talked with this yesterday too. You know, it just depends on direction, man. And like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this. It ain't about Brunson talent for me because I've been watching him since he's been at Villanova. The guy can ball, and anybody to say the guy can't ball, you just a hater.
Yep.
That ain't. It's all about what are we gonna do? What is the plan if you get Brunson here? You know what I mean? Because I don't want another player coming here and then everybody looking at him as a savior, and if this thing bombs,
he's not that.
But you Steph, know.
I know
when the Knicks get a prize free agent, what happens? Yeah. Expectations goes up the roof.
Ron. But let me ask this, bro. Let me ask this because I understand where you're coming from. Because you spoke to this, you broke it down for us before, and it made a lot of sense. And so what I want to ask you is this: when have you seen Jalen Brunson in a large sample size lead a team from the point guard position by himself?
Last time I seen that was Billy.
Right, but we are talking about giving this dude starting point guard money because whatever he asks, it's not going to be a lot in the grand scheme of things. If he somewhere, but I'm going to say somewhere between $18 and $24 million is probably what he'll get, right? Depending on the market, because the market always has unexpected suitors in it, right? Always, some team always comes. But so when have you seen Jalen Brunson lead the Dallas Mavericks without Luka for a large sample size? Even in the playoffs, bro, he did it with Spencer Dinwiddie playing point. And I know Brunson started at point. People are going to say that Brunson started 60-something games, but he was not the primary facilitator. He played this season with a generational talent in Luka Doncic. Now, do you expect Jalen Brunson to come to the Knicks and put up the same production? Go from Dallas, where you have a
better team,
you have and a high level of Midwestern viewers watching your games, to come to the pressure cooker, which is Madison Square Garden.
You know what?
Hold on.
You can say that about any point guard. You can say that about Lowry before he became a starter. You could say that about any point. You could say that about IQ. We haven't seen that with IQ. The only difference is that he's not making a lot of money. Some guys you got to get on the upswing. And I believe, and I can't argue with any of you guys who don't like Brunson, his height, I can't really argue with it. I just got a good feel about this guy. I got a good vibe about him and what he could bring to this Knicks. He's not going to be a star. If you're looking for a dynamic point guard like a Sexton, Westbrook, you're going to be very disappointed. That's
Right.
just not his game.
Right.
And if you go into the lottery next season, you don't need him.
Right.
But if you're trying to go to the playoffs, I believe he's a starting point guard on a playoff team more than IQ is.
So
Because
you
this is
value
the
his, so
Go
you
ahead.
value his leadership.
I
And-
value
and-
more than that. His leadership, his poise, his ability to get into the key and find his spots,
and finish.
and finish in the mid range and the three. He shoots. He shoots. I believe league average from there.
At three.
But he's one piece of a team. You're right. You're gonna have to have those other players. Brunson is not gonna be the driver. He reminds me of a Lowry. He reminds me of a Brogdon. He reminds me of a Van Vliet. Those guys are successful because they have other players, other cogs in the wheel that are better than them. Now, so if you want to say we're not there yet for that type of player, we need a star, move the needle type point guard. I can't argue with you. I can't argue
And
with you.
if we get a star, we're gonna have to give up the whole farm to get a star. You know what I mean? And people just don't
Right
understand
about
that. If we get Brunson, that's all you gotta do. Just give up one player or two. That's it.
Well, it depends on how you acquire that star. Because if it's free agency, like Zach LaVine, and I know he's not a point guard, right? But if you're talking about stars, Zach LaVine's an unrestricted free agent, right? He's expected to sign back with Chicago, right? But if we can sign Zach LaVine, that's just straight out cash, homie. That's no draft picks, none of that other stuff to go with.
But you know that ain't gonna happen, Uncle Freezy. You know that ain't gonna happen.
Why not?
Because you know the Bulls gonna get him the bag.
Right, and I think it's not going to happen because star players don't sign with the Knicks. That's the reason why. But my thing with Brunson though, just real quick, is not his height or his production. I'm just going back to what I heard the Queen say. I just need to see more of a sample size. I just need to see him prove it more, right? Because if we use the logic with Obi and Randle, then I have to use the logic because I was convinced. Because
Obi's sample size is like this though.
Right. That's
it's like a thimble.
That's what I'm saying.
Brunson's is a little larger, but you still gotta extrapolate. But I hear you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you convinced me on that, and so now moving forward, I'm thinking like, I just need to see more from Brunson. You know what I'm saying, before I commit totally. It's not because of the fake nepotism narrative that people are throwing out. It's not because of his height. None of that stuff, or because he's playing second, third, or fourth fiddle on a playoff team. It's only because I just hadn't seen enough of the production when teams are game planning for him. That's all.
This guy's going.
We'll see it tonight. Luka doesn't play,
and he's scoring 20 points.
Hey, there's a game every Knicks fan needs to be tuned in to this series, boy. Right.
We'll be watching.
Yeah.
I personally just can't justify it when I still have questions about my foundation. That's the reason why I don't want Brunson, because I can't validate bringing someone in when I still need to figure out if IQ can be that. Because remember, he's number one, he's going to cost he costs less, $15 to $20 million less. He's going into year 3, which is crucial for any organization to figure out, hey, do I need to move long term on this guy or not? Or does he need to be a trade asset? Or what? Those are the reasons why I'm not bought in on Brunson. Talented player, I'm pretty sure he could fit and all this wonderful stuff. You throw in the connections and all, which we've heard a million times and then some. So what? I need to know if IQ can command the position. And if I can figure that part out, then everything else kind of does make sense. And with everyone who's screaming for, I want a point guard, just remember, everyone who's screaming for a point guard has a different interpretation or perception of the position based on when they were born, where you're from, and all this different stuff. My idea of a point guard is someone like a Mark Jackson, because I grew up in that era. I've been a fan since I've seen Mark Jackson. So my thing is, I want a Mark Jackson type point guard. But the league has evolved so much that it's not so much about the boxing position of, oh, what is a point guard? You just need to be a threat. You need to be a threat at the position. And that's where I will always stand, because when you have threats on the floor in this league, you know, where if you want to win, it's all about matchup advantages. If you have a matchup advantage, you'll win. Trae Young is a matchup advantage, sure. And listen, before the chat jumps way out the window, I am not saying IQ is Trae Young, and I am not saying Trae Young is trash. All I'm saying is he's a threat. At every position you can find at point guard throughout this entire loaded Eastern Conference, they're threats in their own unique way, and so is IQ. It's for that reason I'm gonna ride the IQ wave until it don't work no more.
But let me just say this about oh, sorry.
Oh, my bad, Queen. Go ahead, Queen.
Just real quick. You got to be a threat, but you got to be able to make good decisions off of that threat. You understand? And I get you. There are point guards who are shoot first, and their shooting opens up the passing lanes for them to get other people involved. But you have to have that vision. You have to be able to play make. You have to be a willing passer. And I think he's made strides in that area. He'll get there. This is my other issue with IQ in the starting lineup. IQ is a player, in my opinion, he shoot first. He plays with that type of freedom where he comes down. If he sees it, he's going to take it. He's in that starting lineup with RJ, and if we don't trade Randle, he's going to have to defer. He's not going to be able to play that type of game. They got to eat first, and he's going to get his shots off of them. So he has this Steph Curry, Dame Lillard game in the sense that he shoot first, but he's not in that shoot first role. He's in a playmaking role where you got to feed everybody else. And I'm just not sure he's going to be at his best in that type of role. Whereas when he's on that second unit, he come down, he pop 5 shots in a row. He's the man on that second unit. What is anybody going to say? But on that first unit, his game is going to have to change.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we also
Absolutely.
see in the
I'm gonna tell you,
playoffs.
I was looking at their stat line between them two players. Jalen Brunson averages 16 points, almost 5 assists a game this season, and that's like 30. That's in like 33 minutes of game, 31 minutes. IQ got 11 points and almost 4 assists, and playing 8 less minutes a game. IQ only been in the league 2 years. How long Jalen Brunson been in the league?
But Uncle Ron, you mentioned this though.
Answer the question.
I'm not sure.
Hold on, Uncle Ron, that's not fair.
So it is.
Uncle Ron, that's not fair.
It is fair because we
No,
talk about
check this out.
projection the way this team is at.
It's more than stats though, but I hear you.
Is that IQ? I could sit and watch IQ for another season, trying to play that point guard position because I've seen a leap in him, and I'm not willing to just get off of him and then bring this guy here that everybody going crazy about. After this playoff where he scored 40-something points, but people wasn't singing that same tune when he was just in the Garden and got locked up by Deuce McBride. And they still trying to get him out of the blink.
Ron.
So everybody could have a bad game, Uncle Ron.
A good defensive player will lock players up, but you're not going against that good defensive player every single night. It happens.
Yeah, but Steph, but like we saying where this team is at and what we trying.
That's different. If you're talking about, that's different. That's different.
We still got that center position to find out about. And Cam Reddish ain't no lock to come back here next year. And I know I don't want to see Evan Fournier starting next year.
Here's a question I have for y'all. So Ron, I have a question for y'all, right? So say you do pursue Jalen Brunson and you sign him long term, say 4 years, whatever number it takes Leon Rose to get him, right? What does that do to your point guard position going forward, knowing that at the moment you still have Kemba, and at the moment you still have Derrick Rose, and you still have a developing Quickley, and you still have a developing Miles McBride, and you still have a dude overseas that's not wanting to come over because of the logjam that you currently have, a dude that wants to come over and play, but he can't because there are already 3 dudes in front of him. So what do you do at the point guard position then?
You're in trouble.
I forgot about him. I forgot about him.
You got a log jam. You got a problem. And guess what that means on the open market when you trying to trade? Guess what that means? That means you ain't gonna get as much for him because everybody knew you gotta trade him.
Yep, and that's the problem we have. We're still in that same situation we were in before. I mean, the only difference is, we're saying we need a point guard, but then you got Roka's overseas. We still got D Rose on the bench. You moving IQ in. You got Deuce, and then we're bringing in Brunson. And for the record, I wanted us that last season. I was saying, hey, let's get Brunson. I was saying like Brunson last season that I was for him. But the way things are going, not now. We got to clear up some stuff and look at what we got. I'm all for, nothing against Brunson. You got the history. His pop was a Knick, and everything. We got to figure out what we got in-house before we go out and try to upgrade. We got to move out to move some stuff around, man.
What I think about that question though, Freezy, is
that was his fault, though.
Any of those guards that you just mentioned are floor generals. None of them.
Okay.
So what the Knicks really do need is a floor general to tell Julius Randle, I need you here. I need this guy here. I need you to do this, so then we can get the offense together in time, in space, in a half court, in the playoffs. IQ can't do that. Derrick Rose has never been. He when he came into the league, extreme athlete, never been a floor general. Immanuel Quickley is not a floor general, is learning his way through the league. Joker Bidas is coming off the bench in Barcelona, I believe, behind Dante Exum. So that's the main thing. We need a floor general, and he's been doing these types of things since Villanova. So that's the answer to the question. That's the answer to the question that you was given. It doesn't matter if you have 5 guards, but if they all do the same thing and you're looking for something different, then you need to go make that move.
And make it so good, and make it better, and make it good. When you have a lot of access, that could be trade too. Get somebody else in there.
So, quick question to the panel, and I would like to get an answer from everybody if you guys can. Are there better options than Brunson that are out there right now in terms of being able to? There are nobody. You're telling me there's nothing better out there.
No, but there are. There are. This is what I will say.
I'll go with
they all come with question marks. Brogdon, Indiana may be willing to move off of Brogdon given the trade acquiring Halliburton. Brogdon has played an average of 55 games per season since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
This is a significant injury history. Now, you want to roll the dice? Remember Ilgauskas, the center from Cleveland? After years of foot injuries, he finally got it together. Embiid, after a few years, finally got it together. Do you want to roll the dice on him? Sexton. Cleveland might be willing to move off of Sexton with Garland and the way this team has played. Sexton, though, is another guard that needs the ball in his hands, like an RJ, like a Randle. Schroeder may be. I think he's a free agent, right? Boston only signed him for 1 year. He's in Houston right now. He's a free agent. So there are potential other players out there, but all of them come with question marks. It's just a matter of which question mark are you most comfortable with.
Basketball IQ.
And for me,
IQ
Steph,
player.
One thing always a disqualified for me, man, is availability, man. If you're not available, right. I can't put my stock in you. It's all about availability. You have all the ability in the world, just like Kemba Walker. There ain't no denying the talent.
Right.
God body just betrayed him.
Right. My trepidation is this. It's twofold, right? Because if you sign a Jalen Brunson, all of a sudden you have a guy that matches Julius Randle's timeline more so than your young player's timeline.
Yeah, he'll be 26 in August.
Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, and so does that matter in the grand scheme of things? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anything, any variable that may rock the boat should be a concern. And the other thing too, I just want to say this real quick and I get out of the way. The other thing too is
it's your show, Uncle Freezy. You could go as long as you want.
No. I'm interested. I'm interested in y'all thoughts. I'm a pass first point guard.
Okay, pass the mic then.
But my second thing is I think if you sign a Brunson, I think it inhibits the development of Miles McBride and Immanuel Quickley. And so I think what happens if you sign a Brunson, because he's not going to sign here for a 1 year deal or a 2 year deal. He's going to sign long term, right? So if he's a long term piece at point guard, I think we may have to trade Quickley and McBride because they won't get the minutes that they got. You know what I'm saying? Without having a point guard, and you're going to have to do something with Kemba also. Oh yeah. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Get off of Rose.
Yeah,
get
gotta
off
go.
Of Kemba,
Gotta go, both of them.
Right.
Brunson and IQ can play. This is
McBride.
Listen, McBride is gonna have to wait his turn. I'm not a believer in clearing the runway for players. I'm not a believer, and I'm gonna clear this runway so that you could come in and start, so we can see what.
Wait, are you an athlete?
I am. But listen,
that's why you think. Okay, all right, I got you.
I coached too. I coached for not 10 seasons.
Okay.
In Division III college. But so I'm not for clearing the runway so we can see what you can do. I'm for clearing the runway when I've seen enough, and I said, you know what? I think this guy, if given enough time, can start for this team. I think it's time to move off of the guy in front of him because I think he's ready. Not because I want to see what he can do. Nah, the basketball court is not a playground for you to figure out if you can play in this league. I just don't see it like that. That's scrimmaging. I just don't see it.
So has Leon and Tibbs given us that demonstrative evidence that that's something they'll do? Because if they bring in Brunson, he's playing 35 minutes. Fair end of the story. That's what's happening.
They have not done that. They've cleared the runway for RJ Barrett.
Well, I'd say this here, just on what the Queen was putting out. You got to take some stuff away you got to take things away from Tibbs to make him work. Yeah. Because if he has, it's like this. You know, you're a little kid and you have a little baby and they got that blanket, that favorite blanket or something, a little toy. They can't function without it. Yes, Linus. Tibbs is Linus, and his blanket is D Rose. Mm-hmm. Move D Rose. Look, you know he ain't gonna use Kemba. Kemba should have been brought in. It was just a thing. We ain't worried about Kemba, but you got to move D Rose to get Tibbs in to do what he's gonna get Tibbs to play somebody else. Now, if you move D Rose and you still got Deuce, you have IQ, and you want to bring Brunson in, that makes more sense instead of log jamming everything.
Right.
We know Rokas. Look, I like Rokas. What I saw, he was one of the players, rookie. I like what I saw in summer league and how he got down. The young cat got a little dog in him from what I've seen. However, if you want to bring in Brunson, okay, or Schroeder, or I like Brogdon, but it was the injuries. Availability is the best one.
Yeah, man.
I like Brogdon.
I like him, but he just can't stay healthy.
But there's also when Freezy made up that point, there's also a way when everybody can play because you can move quickly to the 2. You can have Derrick Rose is only going to be here maybe one more year, and he's injury prone. Who knows if he's going to be available the full year next year, which in turn gives Miles McBride some time to play at the backup point guard position. If you move quickly to the 2, Brunson and Quickley can play together, some minutes in the backcourt, and you know, that's some horrible.
They just lost that series right there.
Yeah, Phoenix is done.
Against the Pelicans, you don't think they can step it up and win that series?
I don't think they're going to do it.
The Pelicans are really. I think
Chris
the
Paul
height
had to turn back the hands of time.
Yes. Chris Paul is the.
I think the height is going to be is going to make some problems for Phoenix. I'm not saying they're going to lose the series, but this series just got a lot more interesting.
I mean, think about it. You think about what the Pelicans got. The Pelicans got 2 bona fide all-stars with Ingram and with McCollum. If McCollum didn't come, I'd have been like, nah, they won't win this series. With McCollum, with Ingram, it's over.
You think that's enough?
And that kid out of NYC, Alvarado.
Yeah.
If I'm pronouncing his name right.
Yeah.
You are. Yeah.
They're a problem. They're a problem for that. That was the big. When I seen my man went down last night. When Booker went down, you could see the whole shift in that team. It's like
the energy just changed. It's
down, you know what was supposed to happen? Aiden was supposed to say, give me the ball and get out the way.
Yeah.
And Aiden ain't that dude.
Yeah, Phoenix was already a sinking ship because they have issues going on with ownership in the front office.
Yeah,
and no matter how
all that
smart,
stuff going.
Yeah, and no matter how smart James Jones is as an executive, when your owner is being pointed out and stuff, it's like the same thing that's in my opinion that when you look at the Clippers with Donald Sterling. Now I know. Listen, I'm not saying that the infractions are the same, right? Because Donald Sterling was egregious with the stuff. But what I'm saying is and Knicks fans, I know y'all get this point, right? When you have an unstable owner, you can't win as a franchise. And listen, I know Knicks fans are going to be like, but we have a stable owner. Do we have a stable owner?
Nah, we need a scandal.
Hey, if you want to get a little highlight on it, just to play back, it was covered on NBA 101 with my man Stanford Dunn.
Right.
Message plug.
Right.
Tears lost this season for us too.
Yeah, and so what I'm getting at with Phoenix is when you start to have holes in the ship that you have to plug, you know what I'm saying? You might have enough fingers to plug the holes and stuff, right? But eventually you're gonna get tired of plugging holes, man. And you know what I'm saying? Eventually, you know what I'm saying, things just wear down. Like we forget about the Chris Paul. Chris Paul was injured last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, he was.
And he was injured the year before that in the
always
playoffs.
around the playoffs.
Right. Because
when it's that time, he breaks down on you.
And it's not because he's not passionate. It's just because the dude give 110% of himself. And when you give that much, there's only so much. Y'all know anybody in here 50. I know I ain't asking ages. Never mind. I was gonna say to a certain crowd. I was gonna speak to a certain crowd.
I'm with you on that, Freeze.
You understand when you mature, so to speak. I'm gonna just say when you get to a certain threshold, so to speak, you understand that you are limited as a person and you can only give so much to a certain thing, and you have to be responsible about how you give out these things. So. Am I throwing dirt on Phoenix's grave? No, not in this series. But what I'm saying is I think the troubles will eventually catch up to them, and they'll succumb to the heavy load that they're forced to carry. That's what I'm getting at.
That's a serious hamstring strain he got.
Yeah, Middleton is out too, by the way. Middleton 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
3 to 4. Yeah, he went down. So it's
So finger
door open up to themselves. The Celtics going to the championship, ladies and gentlemen.
So Ron, for the record, before all of this stuff, don't steal my prediction, bro. Don't jump on the bandwagon. Let me reiterate. I mentioned
he needs this.
He
needs this. CWC.
Give me my moment. I said before the playoffs started, before the end of the season, that my prediction is the Boston Celtics in 6 games over the Memphis Grizzlies. That's what
you
I'm
did?
predicting. Yep.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I'm with you. I think the Celtics gonna win it.
We both falling.
And not because Memphis is the best team. I think you ever saw a NASCAR race where it's like all the best cars get in the wreck and the average dude win the race because he survived. Because he survived. That's what I think Memphis is going to be this year, and they'll take that momentum and be something greater than they normally would after this season. But this season, I think they're the middle of the pack car that is going to win the race because all the great drivers wind up wrecking in their aggressiveness. All of them got in like a 20-car pileup, and the average car just came through and navigated through and then went on to win the race. That's what I'm thinking about Memphis.
It's like that.
Hey, can I say that real quick? Hey, how y'all ever thought about this? If you take like all the team in the NBA, right? If you take all the superstars out of the team, their team is average, man.
Every last one. Tough. That's what separates the good teams from the great teams.
Yep.
Yeah. They just like us. Like we average, but if you take a superstar out of each team, they're just gonna be like us.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is with the
which is why you need to keep the foundation. You got to keep IQ. You got to keep Obi. You got to keep Cambia. Like people tend to forget, like you still need role players. So
Oh,
why
yeah,
are we
yeah.
so hyped to just move on from him? Like, just
No,
stand pat.
see,
Let
hey,
the free
Ray.
agents come.
Hey, Ray.
I don't want to move. I
I'd
don't want to
rather,
move
I'd
none
rather
of
get,
them. I want to keep
I'd
them
rather
all,
get
and I want to keep
Brunson.
on adding.
Okay. Hey, hold on for a split second.
I'm sorry,
CWC was trying to jump in.
No, I'd rather get Brunson than Mitchell, because if you get Mitchell, you're gonna have to give up a lot of players. If you get Brunson, that's all you gotta give up, just one or two. That's it. Not even two
Guess what though,
players.
But
CWC?
Mitchell moves the needle,
That,
though.
yeah, that's what I was
That's
gonna
the
say.
difference.
He's a star. He ain't
But
trying to be one.
Hold up.
He's a
Stop the break.
star.
Stop the break. Oh, so Brunson don't move the needle?
Brunson ain't.
He's a piece.
CWC,
He's a
I'm gonna take
piece
that mask
to-
off your face if you put Brunson in the category with.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He's
to
a
yourself.
piece.
Hey, the chat
He's a
listeners.
piece.
Who a better free throw shooter, Brunson or Mitchell?
Hey man, so
Okay,
CWC, the point
let's
that you should be thinking is if it's move the needle, we should think about what size of the needle, how big is this needle, and how far are you carrying this big needle? Right?
Well, see, the thing is,
if you think in grand scheme of things, then if it's a small needle and a small space, then Brunson can be good at that because he's a piece to a puzzle. If you have a huge needle that you need to carry a big space, then you got to go with Donovan Mitchell because he covers up for a lot of mistakes on your team.
Yeah.
Right. He covers up a lot of stuff.
Coaching mistakes too.
Man,
a lot of
and
times coaches look great because they have a player at the end of the game that can make a basket.
Exactly. It's
Like-
Steph, I'm
like-
gonna
We're
tell
gonna
you
see
this.
what Dallas gonna do to Utah. We're gonna see when Dallas beat Utah. We're gonna have that same energy.
You know who?
Everybody has that same energy.
The classic example of this is Phil Jackson, right? Phil Jackson coached Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen on one team, and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal on another team, right? And so we anointed Phil Jackson as, oh, he's better than Brett Auerbach, right? Right? But then when you think about, so he had two of the top 15 players in NBA history on one team, and then two of the top 20 players on another team, right? He could have went out there and dog whistled, and we saw him. He could have just went out there and did the dog whistle and still won a game because he had Michael Jordan, right? And so what I'm getting at is the thing with Donovan Mitchell is we have to keep things in perspective. The thing that with a Donovan Mitchell, if you acquire him, right, you have all of a sudden raised the tide for all the boats in your franchise. Now instead of
altering move,
right? Now, you signed Donovan Mitchell. Now those highly contested 3-pointers RJ Barrett force up from the corner are not as contested because the defensive attention is focused on Donovan Mitchell. Now RJ Barrett has a bigger window to shoot that shot in. So the rising tide is going to raise all boats by bringing in a Donovan Mitchell. Now bringing in a Brunson, everybody is raising the tide equally. One person is not bearing all the load by themselves. Everybody is a piece to the puzzle, including Jalen Brunson. It's the point that Queen was saying. Like Brunson is a piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Mitchell,
I'm gonna tell you,
Mitchell is the puzzle.
Brunson's the better
tell
shooter
you
than
this,
Mitchell. Brunson's the better shooter than Mitchell, by the way.
I'm gonna tell you all this. This goes back like for me, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna stand on this one. All it is for me with Brunson, it ain't the talent, it ain't the game. Like I said, I watched that kid at Villanova, man. Anybody saying that guy is not a baller, something wrong with you. I can't talk basketball with you if you're saying he can't ball.
Right.
My whole thing is about the timing.
Right. Yeah.
Last season, after that 4th seed and we got knocked out by Atlanta, that's when you go get Brunson. Because we knew then the point guard was a major deficiency. But after what transpired this year, with what we looking at, this train wreck, derailment, I couldn't go get Brunson right now because we got too many other problems on this team. And that's my only thing. If this was last season, I'm all for Brunson. I'm all for it. That's all it is,
Ron,
man.
to your point, I would have traded for Brunson during last season.
Absolutely.
I was on that. That was me last season. I was on board last season.
Right. So you trade for that piece during last season to fortify your playoff run. Remember,
Exactly,
we waited here
exactly, because you knew
at the trade
you
deadline.
had a problem at that position, a major problem.
Right,
But this year
and
you
it
got
came back.
too many problems going in the next season, and then you get Brunson here, and I'm gonna tell you, they're going to be Knicks fans that turn on him when they bring him here, because I think they're going to get him. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna ride whatever decision the front office make, and hope whoever they bring here help us get out of this mess we've been in this year. But they bring that guy here and they pay him $20 million, and he's the big free agent signing. Everybody gonna be looking at him as a savior.
We need more.
And I won't
You
say
can't
everybody.
just bring in Brunson. You need more. To your
You gonna
point,
get, and
you're gonna
that's the
need
thing,
more.
Steph.
You're gonna
And
need
that's
more.
what I was thinking too. If you gonna go get him,
you're gonna need more.
guess what you telling me? You gonna go for it.
I mean, if you bring in Brunson, you still
a lot of
gonna
these young players is gonna be up out of here.
if you bring in Brunson, you still gonna need Jesus and high tops, man. We still need more help.
Ray Allen, you talking about Ray Allen?
No, you do.
But
No, you're absolutely
if you bring Mitchell, you're gonna still need help. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna trade
still
away
need Mitch.
all our players.
You're gonna still need help.
Mitchell Robinson is a big.
No. Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, you think
You're gonna still need help. You're gonna still because we work in Utah.
Because you're gonna gut the team.
But yeah, but ask yourself this question: how far does adding a Jalen Brunson take you? Like, where does that put you? Play-in, playoffs, lottery,
playoff, baby, playoff.
I think maybe AFC, maybe AFC.
Play in, AC, like you said, play in AC.
Play in if Randle returns somewhat to form.
So, Steph, do you think they're gonna bring Randle back if they get Brunson?
Team, if you take Randle off this team and you bring in Brunson, I don't think you're making a
No, you don't.
And that's what I think will probably happen.
I don't think so.
I don't see Brunson coming here and Randle being here. That's I don't see that happening.
You're gonna need somebody else. Brunson by himself is not gonna do it.
Think about it. You know what Brunson signals to me too? Is you don't have no question marks about his character. He's a team first ball player. Yeah. So if you bring him in here, is Randle going to be here?
Randle doesn't need to be here. Period. I don't know why that's.
I don't think we want him, but I don't have a problem with Randle's game. I think there's certain things you can do in constructing a roster that can mitigate his inefficiencies and his decision making. My issue with Randle is just his engagement, his energy, his effort, and he not being able to hone his emotions. So it's getting to the point where you can't count on him. That's the issue I'm having with Randle. But I don't have any indication that the front office wants to move off of him.
Right.
I don't really see any indication.
I don't
it's
think
the fan.
I don't think they want to move off of him either. I don't think they want to move off of him either.
Just to revert to Queen's point, guys, just remember the playoffs is going on right now. And the fringe teams that are at the bottom of the playoff tier are looking at Randle as a quote unquote, he's the one missing piece. So I'm not of this. I mean, earlier on, I kept saying to myself, you can't move this guy because any team that is negotiating for Randle wants to negotiate from a position of strength. So they're going to bring up all the bad things that Randle is. Oh, highest usage rate, least efficient. He's got mental problems and all this different stuff. However, a team like Utah or Atlanta or those teams that are falling apart in the playoffs right now, they're not looking to rebuild. They're looking to retool. And they will see Randle as the piece to go 20-5. Well, I can take that on. You know, I can do something with it. And a bad enough contract. Listen, Philadelphia would love to move Tobias Harris for Randle. And no picks have to be attached. So this idea that Randle can't be moved, he can be moved. And a team will get desperate. All it takes is one. But I can't see Julius Randle coming back for the sake. I mean, Queen, you've coached. If the game is 50% mental, or I don't know what the percentages are at this point in terms of mentality, I can't bring that back into a young, impressionable locker room with IQ and Obi and RJ, and they're on the come up as a foundational core. I just can't hang on to Randle. It's not about the bad basketball.
Right. Right.
No,
well, I will say. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Queen. I'll just fall in because it's just.
I will say that I wouldn't bring him back because I can't count on him. Let's not underestimate these young kids. They already know, but Randle is not having any impression on them. They know what they need to do game in and game out, and they're not going to look and be like, oh, well, he's slacking. I could slack too. They know what it is. They're going to come out and they're going to do what they need to do. But I don't want, if he can't turn it around in that department, and some people believe he can, and some fans don't. If he can't, you can't have him here because you can't count on him.
Right.
He's such a big part of the team. Down the stretch, he implodes. He's arguing with the official, whatever. Listen, we still down just 4 points. We still in this game while you imploding. You know what I mean? We still got a chance to win. But Uncle Freezer, let me ask you this. Do you think Randle can, not his game, just what we've seen in terms of his lack of engagement, his half playing when he wants to, his emotionality, do you think he could turn it around, or do you think he's too far gone in that respect?
No, he's gone. Okay. He's gone. He is. So for those of us that played sports at a high level, certain players, you can't count on them down the stretch because when somebody they get targeted by the other team, right? The other team will target them because they know that it's like how John Starks was in the late 90s, right? With the, you know what I'm saying? We love Starks for you know what I'm saying, for what he brings to the table, but Reggie Miller knew in a close game he could do something to draw attack on Starks, right?
You know who was a prime example of that?
And then Starks doesn't just go to that place and come back to the moment.
Right.
Starks goes to that place and stays there. And that's what Randle does. Randle goes to the place. It's not a moment of frustration.
Right.
Right. It's like Dennis Rodman. Like Dennis Rodman goes to that place and he stays there. Right. You're like, I can't depend on him to be a primary guy. So now I have to ask him to play a role.
Right.
Right. I have to ask him. And so if we're talking about what Randle needs a place like, and I'm not saying he's a bad guy or family man or a bad player, but I think Randle needs a place where he can go be a great number 2 for a fan base that is rabid and appreciates his effort. A place like Portland, right? Minnesota. If he goes to a place like Portland, a place like Minnesota, where they're just missing a piece to what Rayology said, just missing the piece, and they'll appreciate because if he goes to Minnesota, he's not going to be 20, 10, and 5. It'll be more likely be like 17, 11, and 4, something like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Cat's not a super duper great rebounder, right?
Yeah.
But in New York, though, where we get picked on all the time anyway by outside sources, you know what I'm saying? You can't have Randle because Randle goes to that place and stays there.
Yeah, I would say this is just on a couple of things. You're talking about the head. A prime example of that, what you were bringing up, Freezy, was Rodman on Lonzo. Prime example of how Rodman do something, Lonzo Mourning he lose it, and it wouldn't be right ever since. If you watch the games back in the day. But to what Rayology was saying, and I agree with you. I wasn't, like I said, I'm not all on this. I'm not all on the whole get Randle up out of here because of this, whatever. There's no dislike if it makes sense for the team to go forward. Queen made a point. If we bring in Brunson and you get rid of Randle, it wouldn't be a good fit because if Randle goes back to the Randle that won the most improved player, then and we had Brunson, we can make some noise.
Yeah, but I'm going to go on record as to say that Randle's going to have a comeback year next year.
And I'm with you on that, Eddie. I'm with you on that because I really do believe that he's going. This way things went, just the way the backside fell out. I'm gonna give the man a chance to see what he's going to do. I like Obi's coming around, but I just can't see Obi fitting in because now you put Obi in the starting lineup like that, you change up the whole dynamic of the team. And that's if you have a Brunson. Obi needs a point guard. He does need point guard play to help unlock him. But you know what? Give Obi more minutes coming off that bench. Now, other team that's looking at like what the scenario that Rayology was presenting, another team's going to look and be like, they're going to try to downplay. Oh, you want to give us Randle? But look, you need to give us more because they're going to try to devalue him. That's like
you think they're going to want a pick? You think they're going to want Randle and a pick? Oh
no, they're going to try to devalue him because you're talking about trading him. They're going to try to take Randle. They're going to try to get him on the cheap, Instead of us getting more out of them, they're going to be trying to give up less.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying, because they're going to try to devalue. Well, look what he did. Look what he did. But in the back of their mind, they're like, yeah, man, we need, look at them numbers he putting up. We need this here. But if I can get them on the cheap. Because how many times you go to you haggle with somebody because you know what you want, but you're trying to talk them down off that price. That's what they're going to try to do with Randle.
Negotiating.
But you know what? Yep. You know what somebody else might say though to that? They might say, you know what? It's New York.
Yeah.
And they might feel like his problem is all about New York. And they say, you know what? This guy put up 20 and 10 and 5, and we know what type of franchise and the Knicks fan base how they are.
Right.
Because they've been saying it.
They're going to try to say it, but I don't think Randle's going anywhere. It's just everybody has their own, everybody has different views. We'll see. But I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. I don't see him in a package deal over the summer. I think he's going to be here. I think the other pieces that should be kind of focused on would be the Kemba, Rose, Nerlens, those type contracts. If you can move them over the summer, if not, they'll be moved during the trade deadline.
Even Cam Reddish is a good trade chip.
Yeah, his name is coming up on a lot of stuff.
They try to trade him. They got him, and they try to trade him at that same time.
Right.
But they wanted to say, they wanted to say
the reason the Lakers.
Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish. Right.
Yeah. They didn't want to give up. They didn't want to give up a second round.
Let me say this real quick, Sophie. Let me say this real quick. So I gotta get out of here because for one, I'm sleepy. Right. I've been so y'all know I work third shift. So when I stay at the 2 o'clock in the day, you already know how your man's so but let me say this just real quick to everybody. I appreciate everybody for coming on. Make sure, listen, this is homework, right? This is homework. Make sure y'all check out Queen Steph's channel and support.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel. Go in, hit the like button, listen to the content, and be, and support her in her endeavor, right? Also, Vibes and Stuff. It is our lifestyle channel where we just go around and hang out and talk just like this, but about just like stuff in general, stuff in life. Like your uncle burning up the food at the barbecue at the family reunion. And it's, your grandma always fussing. You're like, Grandma, why you always be fussing? I mean, are you ever happy? That's what we get to go hang out and do stuff like that over there.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So Vibes and Stuff is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m.-ish to 9 a.m.-ish, right before the Knicks morning drive. Of course, the Knicks morning drive, we want to have y'all to continue to support the channel. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We are, due to scheduling stuff, personal scheduling stuff, our shows have kind of been off kilter a little bit, but we're going to tighten that up and get back to it. Just want to thank everybody. Make sure also that you support my main man, Sim Russell, Nothing But Knicks. He's doing a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So make sure y'all go support that guy, including, me personally, myself. He helped, get the wind beneath my wings so I can do this. So make sure y'all go over and show love for that guy. And we'll be back here tomorrow at 9-ish, probably 10, because Vibes and Stuff, we say we're going to do it for 45 minutes, an hour. And it always wound up being 2 hours because somebody want to talk about how they ex-girlfriend slashed their tires, or how a certain song remind them of the prom, or something. It's always something over there.
Hey, can I say something real quick though? It's
all right.
Straight to the Knicks fans, Knicks Nation, all of us. I want to ask a simple question to every one of you, and that is, did you fall in love with Julius Randle 2 years ago? I did.
Yep.
And he had a bad year. So if he comes back and he gets rid of the theatrics, I can ride with that dude again.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay.
All
right. Hey, one more thing, Uncle Freezy. Hey, one more thing. If we don't get Mitchell, right, or Brunson, they going through it. Michael Jordan and the Chicago and Charlotte coaches going through it with Ball. Like they having a little fallout over there. You think we should try to make a move for Ball?
That's too deep of a question to ask at the end of the show. What I would say is that we save a question like that for when we open a joint, open a show, and then we could talk about all the possibilities. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I talk about Charlotte.
I know who you talking about.
Oh, okay.
Hey, and so Steph, this is always, I think, at the end of the show, like we'll be on for like 3.5 hours, and nobody wants to go home. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is.
I'm at work.
Can I just say I'm going live tonight?
Yeah.
I'll be live tonight on Dope Souls Sports Talk. Jay Boogie's supposed to be with me. Divine, I am Jarrell, a few other people.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking the Knicks wing positions. Last week we talked the point guards.
Can we all come on your show, Queen? Can we all come on your show?
Hey,
the panel is full, but I'm going live every Tuesday at 9:00. I would love to have y'all on.
So what we'll do is once you put your thumbnail up, what I'll do is I'll go capture it and put it on my community page. So it'd be like the bat signal from the Blorange Tears family, so they can come rally and support. But I ain't gonna do that right now. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Right now, I'm gonna go get me a sandwich and go get me some of what people call some slep. I'm gonna go get me some.
Hey, yo, peace out.
Uncle Freezy's lying. He's calling in tonight. You are.
Yeah, man. So I'll holler at all of y'all later. And thank you everybody too for the whole helping me name the puppy thing. Man, we got like 100 suggestions. But when I talked to Mo, she was like, no, we ain't naming no dog Razor or Killer or nothing like that. Not around here. So we went with Benny, and we just appreciate everybody who submitted suggestions and all that stuff. We'll holler at y'all later, y'all.
All right, Freezy. All right, everybody.
Peace, y'all.
All right.
Be easy, fellas. Be easy, Queen.